A game.
Titus, hello.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you.
You made it.
I did. Do you know what? I've been trying for over an hour now. I think this is kind of the tech signaling to me I need something new to run this with. I'll take this as its final warning to me. So
Fair enough.
Apologies everyone for the delay and for the issues and stuff. It's
it's quite right. We've been having a lovely little chat, haven't we?
yeah. So I guess because I got shooed when I came back in.
Quiet, we're busy. Shush.
Noise deafened me.
Oh, I could deafen him actually. I can deafen. I've got so much power being the host of this video call. It's amazing, honestly.
Yeah. It's gonna mean nothing if he kills your character off straight away, though. So.
Oh, I'm ready for my next one. I'm ready.
We'll implement the old rule, Josh, where every new character gets less and less HP. Your previous character gives you your ceiling.
Okay, yeah. I'm not sure I've explained this. So, Harry, before this campaign in particular, I didn't think Constitution mattered that much, and picked. Well, what was it? I picked a cleric who I kind of sacrificed for narrative purposes. It was a good sacrifice, though. He burnt alive, saving people and looking at, the face of the woman that he sort of considered a mother. It was nice. Then what happened to Umbra? Oh, Umbra got kidnapped by a devil, and
which time?
And turned into like a slug thing for a little while. That happened. And then I completely forgot about Constitution. My rogue had none, and my wizard had none. And the wizard, James, dissolved.
I think I shot you repeatedly.
Yeah, he shot me repeatedly.
Very slow execution because we were quite a high level at that point.
Yeah. By the way, not shot with bullets, shot with acid splash.
Yeah.
It was a long death. But yeah, so I've
well
now
deserved,
learned.
Justified though.
Well deserved.
Well deserved, 100%. But now I've got 27 hit points at level 4, so it's great.
And what happened when we brought back your monk, Josh?
Yeah, where's Umbra now?
Yeah, where's Umbra now?
Still pisses me off to this day.
Umbra is an inquisitive mind, and there was a deck of cards.
Oh.
And just before, there'd been a prank pulled on him where he'd eaten something and had an erection for 10 hours.
Okay.
And was walking around the streets with, I think it was described as quite a stonking hard-on. And
didn't expect us to take this turn.
Yeah, no, we didn't either. And then
It was great though.
we were preparing for literally the session before the finale, preparing for the final battle, and a couple of the previous enemies had been quite big magic users, and Umbra, as great as he was, there was a lot of resistance to what he could do. So Umbra thought, this deck's powerful, I might get a boon out of this, something might help me, and pulled a card and got banished to a realm that we don't.
Put into stasis in the condition he was in, so with
a
a
hard-on.
And whisked off to somewhere where he could only be located with a wish spell right before the final battle.
Yeah.
And to this day, at the end of the campaign, he is still in that place.
Still in that place, stuck in time.
Permanently
with an erection.
erect.
Yeah, absolutely.
Future one-shot goal.
It was a disaster.
Hey, who knows? Maybe we'll find them on this one. In this campaign.
Put Umbra in this game, yes!
No, because I'm not.
Immediately walk past them and never talk about them again.
Yeah.
We just see a
Like,
statue.
ooh, that guy's weird.
Yeah,
Is he hard in public? What the hell?
That's the
Lifelike statue.
that's the BBEG for this campaign, but you don't have to worry. He hasn't got a lot of hit points, so you're taking down.
I could probably find a point somewhere. But yes, sorry. Titus, let me pass it back over to you now.
So again, sorry everybody for that. It's been a bit of a yo-yo. So I'm just going to do the intro because that's the only way that I know how to do this. So welcome everybody to this, the 16th session of Perils Possibilities, a Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition chronicle set in the fictional realm of Elysium. With me today, I'm guessing you've already introduced yourself.
We've introduced ourselves.
So we have also got Dean coming with us. We haven't got Philip with us today. So unfortunately, we'll be going down without him continued. But hopefully, he'll return to us soon. Announcements and stuff, I'm guessing, have been done.
Yeah, the main announcement was just what we were planning on doing in this session, which is all fine. We are pretty much out of our studio now, so we'll be here for a little while on this virtual setup. We will get Titus a working computer soon.
I'm afraid all the tech problems and stuff stem from. I've been kindly lent a laptop by the wonderful Dean, but it's quite an old laptop, and it's on its last legs. So
Callum,
it's an ongoing issue, but we are looking at getting it sorted. But obviously, with us getting turfed out of the studio and the rest of it, it's not ideal. But it was also an unexpected hurdle that we didn't expect to jump over. So we will get over it, ideally, before next session, and we will soldier on today, and pray that this old girl can keep going for another session.
Just for 3.5 hours. After that, it's fine. You can do what you want after that.
After that, it'll be old yellow time.
Yes. That's everything from me.
Yes.
Callum.
Just the usual, guys. Rogues Retreat still going. They're still a wonderful company, still selling lots of good stuff. They've actually been doing a lot of live pop-up shops and things like that as well. I don't know why I said live, that's a super way to put it, but they've been actually in person at different cons and things as well. So if keep an eye out on their socials and things like that. If they are near you guys, it's worth going to say hello and checking them out, because they are really, really wonderful, and they do a lot of good stuff. But like I say, it's the roguesretreat.co.uk. You can use the code Perils for the checkout to get an additional 10% off some lovely dice, and hopefully you'll roll better than most of us do in this campaign with them as well.
Yeah.
On the subject of rolling, right? I've been doing terribly the last few sessions, and it's because when we left the studio, my dice were still there. I've got them back now. My special dice.
I think it's been fine.
Yeah. Just carry on with the old. I've enjoyed these
campaigns, and it felt really weird doing it without them. Anyway, so last note from myself is obviously I've watched back the last episode, and I realised because of the format and the way that we do things, the window that I've got on my screen now is broader than the window that it transfers to on the actual Twitch. So I tend to lean when I talk to people one way or another, and it cut me off a few times, which was my fault. But these are the walls of the windows that I can't see.
It's much
so I do apologise that was the experience last time. I am trying to nail myself in place, so I'll just expect Dean or Josh or Callum or anyone that can kind of see it on their systems to just give me a smack if I lean.
I'll let you know.
Again, we weren't expecting to do it in this format, so it's all trial and error, so I do apologise. Anyway, who is doing our intro monologue for session 15? For session 16, for session 15?
Oh,
it's me. It's Degala.
Fantastic. So,
and
Degala.
I've actually prepared something as well. I've actually
it's
come
surprising
prepared.
how few of you actually prepare ahead of time for them.
I think it's asking a lot when I'm trying to, balance so many things on this end. But here we go.
It's all about roleplay anyway, isn't it? Ad-libbing.
Exactly, yeah. Okay. Another day, another battle to hunt for vengeance, Anek. It's been so many years fighting, hunting, scheming, acting as a Feltor. How can one person endure such hardship? I'm still with this strange group, traveling towards my next quarry, Arkvel. He truly is a Feltor, one who stains our lineage, working for the Kungu Arcanum, trafficking in stolen children and who knows what else. Getting to him gets me one step closer to finding the source of their power and granting you everlasting peace, Anach. We've been travelling to this Felter along the road to Nerdaeth. This road has only taken us a day so far, but we have encountered strangeness. Me and the Heavenly One inspected a small caravan of wagons, only to find that it was empty, save 1 foot and some strange white chalk. No doubt you would have been able to identify it, Anek. After deciding to ingest some of the said chalk, the little one seemed to spark into some terrifying vision of monsters and men chasing and hunting us. I was never truly a Slanu, so I couldn't help to go with this material. We camped out, preparing for the next day's travel and entry into a town, I believe called Baledran. The tall one saw the little angry one try and sleep light a candle. The littlest one they slept with the horses. Don't even ask. And the racist one had a night terror. I suppose we carry on a quest to Neredaeth, to Arkval, closer to justice for me and Dur, and closest to vengeance for Uanek. I am your Docha Sarak, and I will never stop.
Very nice insertion of all the elven words there.
Thank you.
In fact, you know what? You remembered those better than... That was a nice inspiration. So I'll let you have inspiration to start us off, just to try and get me into the habit of doing this a bit more. So you can start.
You remembered those better than Harry remembers his character's name.
You remember those.
I would be mad, but it's absolutely right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's not like I play them every week, but it's fine.
And to be honest, he remembers those better than I remember the own names of the gods in my own campaign. So,
I may have done some referencing back to past notes to get them all together.
Well, points. See, referencing notes gets you inspiration. So,
is it that easy? Right.
I know, right? Who thought?
Session 1, Jarell.
Not that far back. You're not getting inspiration for Jarell. You'll get anti-inspiration for Jarell. So, because you've had a long rest, I'm going to need some rolls from people. Oh, hell yeah.
Shit.
I only need 2.
Oh.
Who wants to do my percentile?
Go on, Harry.
Fine. I shall ruin us with whatever this percentage will be.
You never know. You might be getting all the good ones. Wow.
I don't trust this.
The lack of self-faith.
I will say these rolls are not normally the wrong word. These are not geared towards necessarily being just bad. They are a mixed bag.
I got 77, 2 lucky 7s.
Ooh, okay.
And as, for those that are watching at home, quick reference to this: these are rolls relating to tables that I've got for the ongoing world. They are jumbled. They are not low is bad, high is good. So I reference these and I look through the tables and have a look. So even I don't know whether or not 77 is good until I look at the table.
Well, you say that, but we got a 1 once and things went really bad.
Yeah, but I knew what table you were rolling on. Okay, so I need a D12.
Go on, James. Oh, he's gone.
He didn't want to roll.
Suggesting that you rolled has got set him.
Should I roll the
You
D12
go,
in this
Callum.
case?
James will jump back in a second, I'm sure.
That is an 8.
Welcome back. An 8.
Oh, you're back. Excellent.
Yeah.
Oh, and Dean's in as well. Lovely.
Brought a
Hello,
friend.
Dean.
Yay.
Fantastic. Welcome.
James, you're back. Lovely. We'll get rid of that. And Dean, we'll get you in as well.
No, you've not missed anything, Dean. Obviously, we got on a bit of a late start, so we've just been finished doing the rolls. They've just rolled a 77 and an 8 for me. And we had quite an impressive elven-laden speech from Josh, so he got himself some inspiration.
Thank you.
Making myself remember to do that a bit more.
How was the throne, Dean?
Heavy.
Heavy is the throne and the crown.
I'd say it's as heavy as a washing machine, and that's my only really comparison, because I'm usually the guy lugging that shit round. But
Yeah.
doing it down like a spiral Victorian staircase where, it's very steep and all of the steps are slightly bowed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
I just needed a moment to just take a breath.
Entirely understandable.
Yeah, well, that's appreciated. We've got that all done. We've got the rolls done. We have now reached the morning of your rest alongside the road, passing the river and the eerie silence and the remnants of the three wagons that you found there. along with a chalk-like residue. Not chalk itself. The closest approximation from the keen-eyed Degala was that this was almost a biological substance, almost like it was a powdered remnant of muscle and skin that bore no evidence of what process had transitioned it from a solid object into a small powdery object. Almost like when a body is burned and turned to ash, but without the catalyst that changes it. This lingered behind you as you continued on your way and set up camp. Discussions were had where horses were given names. A closer relationship was formed between the beloved druid Degala, not Degala, Draenor. It's the D's, I swear. Well, then again, Degala he's got a good relationship with horses, so I didn't mean that as wrong as that sounded. But Draenor managed to start the early relationship of a kind of owner-horse bond with them.
Friendship.
Yes, friendship. Oh, of course, with the druid, it would definitely be a friendship. Draenor.
We all know friendship is magic.
Yes. Favoured foods were mentioned and made note of, promised. Not yet delivered on, but Brown seems quite eager to have that passing. During his own observations, Gwyn did notice that on the opposite side of the road, on one of the stunted walls which lines the road on this path, there was residue of chalk, similar to what had been found on the bridge, suggesting that something was either going this way or had come from this way. It's unclear which, but the fact that this chalky residue was noticed by the time you arrived suggests that this passing was previous and not current, which in itself was less worrying than otherwise it could have been, but it was something worth noting. Philip has been somewhat despondent since his encounter with the Black Candle. Although the original Black Candle, which was witnessed by the group back in Ostia before your flight, was seemingly destroyed, Philip, by his own admittance, still has one of these black candles on him. He tried to light one of the lanterns on the front of the wagon and was stopped by Gwyn. His largely despondent nature was worsened and made more suspicious by the fact that he denied ever having tried to light this black wing candle, and otherwise seems largely himself, although there's a strange change to his candidates which is not yet gone unnoticed. Unfortunately for Cassian, are you still hearing me?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Sorry, the screen's just gone blank. I'm just making sure it hasn't stopped on me. Yep, so unfortunately for Cassian, the night terrors that he had previously experienced in Ostia, with the faceless entity hovering over him during a state of sleep paralysis, has persisted. This creature, not set to pester him during the sleeping hours within the city, seems to have followed him on the road west. And again, he did not get a full, undisturbed night's sleep. But he was not the only one. Val has also had his own experiences in tents, which I won't go into for the sake of the fact that it was a whisper. However, it has left him with a few more questions, which he did not necessarily get satisfactory answers to. Now, with everyone having woken and beginning to break down the sleeping areas that you set for yourself, the fire already naturally burning low at this early hour, and everybody starting to move back onto the wagon and starting to get yourself set and ready to return onto the road and continue west towards Baledran. Is there anything you'd all like to discuss or do in this early hour before you set off?
Where was Gwyn sleeping? You were on the wagon, right?
It was on the roof.
On the roof, right? Okay, that's fine. Val would like to have a word with Gwyn, but if it's going to be easier to do it while they're on the move, then we'll do it that way. So if anyone has anything they want to do before we get set off again.
We can do it on the move. I'll just kick Cass off the front.
I'm just getting changed from my silk pajamas into my traveling leathers and armor.
Yeah, I think Gwyn's going to be getting changed over towards probably on the road where that white chalk line is, just looking at it whilst he's getting changed.
Okay. Quick question for the bookkeeping side of things. Everyone's removed the rations and the water from the previous night. Fantastic. Everyone's done their health recovery rolls.
Yeah.
Everyone's fantastic. Okay, so in which
Worth
case,
noting, I changed some of my spells that I had prepared. Yeah, because I can, at a long rest, change my spells around.
fantastic. Yeah, so any changes and stuff, or even old rules, which it's always worth just kind of going over them again here, just for the sake of making clear how it works in 2024, because still trying to learn what's changed. There's so many different changes, and they're all subtle changes. Fantastic.
I've switched out calm emotions for power word kill.
Fantastic. So Warlock can change.
Took a moment then, did it, Titus?
A moment, yeah. So you're not getting inspiration.
Oh.
I mean, you can try it in combat. Just yell "kill" at someone and see what happens.
Just go, Havana.
I almost missed that. Okay, so while Gwyn's going over to the other side of the road to go and check evidence of to go and have a look at these chalk markings that he's seen, what's everyone else doing? I know Cassian's getting changed out of his silk pajamas. What's Degala, Draenog, and Val doing while Val's waiting to have that discussion?
Degala is going to... He's sort of, he's just been in a trance, really. He kind of blinks straight away, awake, straight up, immediately looking around, checking the periphery, and he's going to go for a little run. He's going to go for a run because the forest line's not too far away from where we are. So he's going to run up to the very edge of the forest and just run along, up and down a few times, maybe sort of like, a few hundred feet, just doing laps up and down, just sort of checking in the forest, checking on the road, that sort of thing.
Okay. So you are within close proximity to the forest on your side?
Yes.
Fantastic. Okay. Don't tell me the result yet. Just roll perception for me.
Of course.
Cassian, once you're changed, what are you doing?
Say Draenog.
Yes.
We're all elves like restless puppies. Look at him go. He's just back and forth.
Well, one, you told me not to refer to the young ones as pups anymore, and two, he's only 30. In terms of elven years, that's practically a child still. It wouldn't surprise me if he still needs to grow out some of his baby teeth.
Right. Well, I suppose I should cut him some slack if he's a child.
For gnomes, we'd normally, I'd say in human terms, it'd be about 70 years or so before you really considered an adult as a gnome.
Oh, wow.
So...
I'll likely be dead then.
Well, the way you live, fast and loose, there's always a chance. They say... I know the dwarves have kind of a phrase that you can't really take the measure of a human until you know their grandkids.
Right.
So I'm sure you've got plenty of children out there, and hopefully they're nice people as well.
I hadn't even thought about that, honestly. Probably.
Well, always a chance with you, Cassian.
A lot to unravel in that last little exchange there.
So you still have... Whereabouts are you having this discussion?
Probably just outside. You'd still be by the horses, right?
Yeah, I imagine I'd be, loosening the horses, and probably as I'm walking them over towards the wagon. I'm sure it's me that's kind of, dragging the horses along, and Cassian isn't. So yeah, just taking them over to the wagon and kind of trying to get them hitched up and everything. It's a little difficult because he's only, sort of 4 foot high or so.
You'd find Cassian helping you with hitching.
Oh, lovely.
They're very compliant as well, even without the discussion from the previous night. And although they are still quite young, whoever's reared them has done quite a good job with them. They are healthy and they are very, amiable towards being led. They are grazing. Clearly, they're trying to feed themselves up, but they are happy to go and graze over by the wagon as opposed to by the tree. So they follow on, and as you're working on them, they just start grazing on the floor.
Yeah, and I'll sort of say, "Oh, did you take a watch last night?"
Me?
Yeah.
No, I told you all as I woke up. I was trapped by that faceless entity again.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I was just wondering how it went last night, because honestly, I was dead to the world, just huddled with the horses under a tree. It was like home.
You slept with the horses?
Yeah, well, I slept by the tree, and then when I woke up, I had the horses closer to me. They were quite warm. It was nice.
Right, okay. Nothing untoward, though.
No, it's like when you go to bed and, the dog climbs up and lays with you, keeps you nice and warm.
Yeah, so that's just, I knew a girl once. Liking to horses is all.
Oh, fair enough,
D&D. I can't even use that excuse for this.
Just so, Cassian.
It is worth noting, Cassian, that normally horses are a status symbol. It's unusual to see, well, you never see peasants with them, save in the exception where they have one working something like a mill or similar, where they need it for the purposes of the work. That's when they'd have one. But they're normally in the kind of job where it's an essential job. And therefore they're bringing in just enough to afford them, but then that horse is like pride property. The fact you guys have two is a testament to the fact that you got a fair, decent payoff recently. It also explains why they're well tended to, because normally it's nobles buying these horses, and you wouldn't want to sell a sickly and disobedient horse towards a potential noble. And it's very likely that you got name dropped, or someone got name dropped, or the pretense of selling to a noble family was done by Kyra when the purchase was made through. So the fact that the horses are acting this cooperative is not surprising to you. The fact they're taking so well to a gnome is. But then again, you're learning a lot about gnomes recently.
The horse is not like gnomes?
It's more the idea that
a gnome can do anything in Cassian's eyes.
It's more just the kind of prejudice that humans have towards other races, even to something as stupid as this. You got to remember, in this setting, the whole superstition about everyday life, common household superstitions that you'd normally have in the kind of medieval world are commonplace and widely accepted here. If someone came up to you and started offering certain herbal remedies, unless you were trained in herbalism, it is not outside the realms of possibility that would be widely accepted. If someone said that you had goblins coming down from your chimney and that's why your pots keep getting moved next to the thing, you wouldn't be like, you're insane. You'd be like, well, it probably is. Because people don't know better. They don't leave their own homes. They don't leave their villages. They believe what they're told to. And
Draenor really does look like, I say he looks like he was a herbalism peddler, but he wasn't a snake oil salesman. He actually, the stuff he sold actually worked, and it was like, oh, I'm having a problem with, one of the cows or a mare or something, and it'd be like, oh, okay, I'll just go and talk to it. And he was, like the animal whisperer, someone who could take care of animals, because he literally would just whisper to the animals and talk to them.
And as we mentioned to you, those kind of things would normally be seen as untrustworthy and witchery, especially if it's coming by a gnome. But if you are doing this, it's one of those things where if it's not beneficial to the person you're doing it to, you're probably going to get told on to the Scholar Arcanum or whispered about or rumors started. If what you are doing is working to the benefit of these people, they're more likely to keep shushed, because it's just an inherently selfish system that they've got in place. If you are helping a village, they are not likely to blame you. But if things start going wrong in that exact same village, even after a period of you helping them, it's very likely you'll get the first finger pointing. But that's just how life is for people that just accept superstition for everything, except the way that they are. But that is the status of the realm. Val, while you are waiting for Gwyn to come back, what are you currently doing?
So Val would be packing up his tent if he sees that Gwyn is on the other side of the road, like sort of more just away from the group, and sees everybody else doing their thing, and Dagala's just doing laps. He'd probably, once he's packed everything up, he'll go over to Gwyn and probably just start by saying, Gwyn, do you need help putting on the armor?
Yes, I've never really used straps like these before. I'm not really at home on the battlefield normally. This is quite a new experience for me. Could you?
Yeah. I hope.
Thank you.
No worries. I did have a question for you as well, if that's all right.
Sure. I'm literally at your mercy right now, so please.
It's a rather random one, but obviously just with everything that I've found out recently and stuff to do with, families and things like that, it's just kind of had me thinking. It's just, forgive the random question, but being nobility, what does that mean to you?
Oh, to me?
Yeah. Like,
well,
because I know you said you're not terribly close with a lot of the family, right? But you're still part of that line. What does it mean for you to be a noble? What is your thoughts on it?
I wouldn't say I'm a noble per se. I wouldn't even say my family is nobility. More just well off. My family is pretty much a climber. They've fought and scrapped with other families to get more influence. So we are used to a fight, even if I'm not used to wearing this sort of armor. I think in that way, I come from a privileged position because I'm not quite born with a golden spoon up my ass or whatever. But I obviously had luxuries that thousands, if not millions, didn't have. So I recognize my privilege.
And if you had the opportunity, say, to change the way now that your family are doing things, your sister with the war and whatever your parents and things are doing, do you think you would want to?
I think they would want me to, but on the hand for me, no, I've never been that kind of person. Well, something inside me is that kind of person, but I'm not.
So you'd be just content with the way you are now, the way things are, having to just go your own way, essentially.
That's all I've ever tried to do. Unsuccessfully. Then very successfully, but still somehow it felt terrible. No matter what I do, it seems like I'm always going to be on the losing foot.
Yeah, I understand that quite well. Yeah, sorry for random question in the morning, but like I say, I've had a lot of time to think with the recent information. I'm going to ask Cassian the same thing because I would like perspectives, but I have a feeling Cassian's, obviously he's rather young, so he might have a very different outlook.
Are you okay?
It's a bit of a loaded question.
Answer it however you want.
No, not really, but
I appreciate the candor.
Yeah, we make do.
Me too.
Yes, obviously Drainog yesterday when I was explaining everything did ask if I was nobility, to which I obviously answered no, more as a defense mechanism than anything. I've been lying a lot to all of you.
Yeah, you fucking have.
Yeah.
I don't blame you, but
honestly, it's not something I do on purpose, at least not all the time. I've been doing it for so long now, I don't really know any other option.
I understand that feeling.
Yeah. There's obviously
we're quite similar people. Luckily, you get to hide your sort of nobility, whereas my face has been likened to, from my sister to every single person across this land.
Yeah.
Whether I wanted it to be or not. My name has a credence. And that's going to get us into a lot of trouble if I show it off.
Could it not also do the opposite? Surely you could put it to good use.
No, I got this armor, but I'll only help in places that love my sister and love what the wolf is doing. Because I'm now, whether I want to be or not, tied to his legacy.
Yeah.
And certainly, trust me, I do not want. You get to hide yourself. And you've done pretty well so far. Shows enough for how much you've been lying.
Yeah.
But I don't blame you for it.
Well, I appreciate that. I tell myself I'll lie to protect others, but it is definitely more to protect me.
That's why we all lie.
Yeah. There will be things that I'm not ready to tell all of you yet. As I'm sure you can understand, I'm sure everybody in this group has their own secrets.
Well, there is lying and there's lying by omission. And you just need to figure out if one's better than the other.
Yeah. Well, thank you. That was actually very insightful.
People don't ask me shit.
Well, I feel like you're probably the one that I have actually spoken to the least, so I thought I would take the opportunity while we have it.
No, that's fine. Just don't get me angry. You
Well,
won't like me when I'm angry.
I feel like I've heard that somewhere before, but it must have been
I think I'm the first person to say that ever.
maybe.
Let's assume so.
Yeah, it must have been a dream or something. I'm not sure.
Yeah, sure.
But yes, I appreciate it, and obviously, as I've mentioned before to everybody, I know you are essentially coming this way for me, and I really do appreciate the help. But honestly, if at any point you want to go your own way, it's not up to me. You can do whatever you want. You're a free person, but I appreciate it nonetheless.
Do you know what? I think I kind of want to chop off my sister's head. She's just a bit of a bitch.
Right.
She always has been my entire life. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't actually want to chop off her head, but it's,
Right.
you know, just that rage that you feel.
Yeah.
Just that rage. It's probably not me who's saying this, but I just
Yeah.
it seems quite. I just want to kill her.
Mm.
No, I hope that's not me, but it could be. That's what I'm scared about.
I guess that's part of having a sibling, right? They drive you insane.
Yes. Well, I've done that to her, so.
Well, the big red guy
Oh, yeah.
that you change into, is that just when you're angry?
It's not my anger, I don't think, but after admitting that, maybe he is my anger, and maybe I have to live with that. But fucking annoying.
I can imagine, but yeah, it was quite terrible. How this is probably too much for this morning, but do you know how that thing or that person came to be? Is it just a manifestation of your anger somehow?
I don't know. That's why I went to the city to find out. Well, why I returned to the city. I got a letter from somewhere, and it's written in a language I couldn't read. I now know what that language is now, but it's done shit all to help me. So I just need to look for the next clues, I guess. Yeah.
Well, if there is anything that I can do to help, then just please do ask me. I'll do what I can, of course.
Well, if you see my sister, you know what to do.
Right, yeah. I feel like probably chopping off the general's head is not gonna go well in my favor.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Death sentence.
Yeah, I thought so. So I might take a pass on that one.
Yeah,
But-
I won't, but okay.
Anything more tangible, feasible, please just let me know.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate the chat.
Yeah. Armor's done, by the way.
Oh,
You're
thank you. God, it feels so. It's surprisingly comfortable. Stretchy.
It does look good. And then I will head back to the carriage to start loading up the rest of his shit.
Fantastic. Gwen, survival roll for me, please.
Oh, okay.
And then we are going over
Oh,
to Digala.
Oh god, that's even worse than the cocked. 6.
Okay. You can see the chalky residue. It's not as dense as it must have been last night because you saw it at a distance. You saw it in the dark. It's been a warm morning, similar to how it was yesterday. There hasn't been a lot of wind blowing, and you've certainly, if an animal has brushed past this and caught it or nudged it or something similar, there's no evidence of it trailing further along the wall as though it's been brushed along, suggesting that it's either fading, or for some other reason it is less dense than it was previous day. You don't believe that anything's caught against it. You're pretty certain you would have seen it because when you woke up, no one's reported seeing any sort of animals. There wasn't a lot around the other night, and you've had your eyes on this pretty much since you got up, since you were setting your armor on as you were going over there. So yeah, you don't think anything's brushed against it, but the fact is it's less dense than it was the previous night. What that actually signifies and why, you have no idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gwyn will head back to the group.
Cool. So while you are doing that, Digala,
Hi.
you've gone off on your run.
Yes.
Running up and along the edge of the forest.
Correct.
There is a lot more wildlife this earlier in the morning than there previously was. Not necessarily visually, they are still keeping away from the edge. That's just good common sense for animals. Go away from the road where humans tend to lumber noisily up and down. And granted, unless they're out hunting, humans do tend to make enough noise to give animals pre-warning.
Yeah.
But there's safety in the trees, and the animals know this. So you can hear them. You can certainly hear the birds. You can see the small skittering animals going from tree to tree. Especially with your ridiculous passive scores.
And I did roll perception as well, as you asked.
Yeah, but that's for something else.
Okay.
Just in general, your passive scores going up and down on this run.
True.
Distracted as you are with running, you do still see these animals going back and forth. A few of them are watching you or keeping track of the fact that even a light-footed elf is still making noises if you're barreling up and down early on in the morning.
Yeah.
As you are coming towards the point where you are about to turn, a shape shifts directly in front of your pathway, almost barreling you over with such a suddenness that you have to actually skid across the top of the grass to stop yourself from hitting it. As you come to a stop, what is standing in front of you is a very impassively expressioned Philip, who turns and looks at you. Takes a moment as he looks at your face and says, "Oh, morning."
Hello? I thought you were in the... He turns around to look at the way. I thought you weren't there, sleeping.
Oh no, Gwyn might have been annoyed if I shit in the wagon, so I did it in the woods.
Oh,
like a bear.
Do you know what, actually? No, I appreciate that. Do it far away. You didn't do it near any animals or anything like that who could get the scent, right?
No. I don't
You're
think
lying
so.
to me, aren't you, Philip?
I mean, there was a convenient hole in the ground. I thought, why dig my own when it's right there? There might have been animals in there, but...
Okay, that's
sure
fine. That's fine. Why don't you go back to the rest of the group, Mr. Philip? Do you want me to go check on your poop? Or are you satisfied on how it went?
I mean, I'm a professional pooper at this point. You don't need to check. And he just walks past you back towards the wagon.
I would hope so. Oh my, okay.
Did you have to say that whilst I was eating something?
Oh,
Yes.
sorry.
Do me a favor.
Yes.
Roll another perception check for me. Roll
Do you want
check.
the result of the other one as well?
Yes.
Okay, so
I
the
want
first
both of
one...
them in order.
The first one was a 7 because it was a natural 1.
Okay. Oh. Okay.
And
Don't roll the second one.
Oh, I got a 19.
No, you got a natural one. We'll leave it with the natural one.
Okay.
Then you start doing your run back as you previously described. Everyone at this point is starting to get everything reorganized and resorted. Moved the belongings back into the wagon. Philip joins the group, gets back up into the wagon. All the possession put back in. I'm guessing that the fire's going to be stowed out, especially if you've got a druid with you. Is there anything else you want to do in this particular area before you set off?
I think I'm good on that front. Anyone else?
How did the watch go last night? Did we see any people around?
Not particularly. It was quite a relaxing watch, to be honest. I mean, Gwyn's or Philip tried to sleep light a candle.
For fuck's sake.
Oh,
Has he still got the candle?
sleepwalking?
I don't know. Gwyn, has he still got the candle, or did you take it off of him?
I don't think I could take it off him. It wouldn't let me, as far as I remember. Oh wait, no. Did I? I actually can't remember. Did I take it off him?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
I think Ryan would have messaged and had something to say about that if we did.
Yeah.
I'm starting to think you all are a bit too obsessed with this candle, you know.
Us?
Well, my understanding it's like a hag candle, and I've had some experience with hags, so I might be able to.
I didn't get given it by a hag.
That.
I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
You have a hag candle. Is that what this thing is?
Well, off the back of that, I was also visited by something last night, and I'll pull out the cloak and I'll open it up to show the inscription in it that says "Fear." What was it? Fear the shadows, fear the lakes. In the same scrawling that was on the wall in the weird room thing. You see, Philip, this is what it is linking to. This is why we do not want to light this candle.
So you're saying a candle wrote that?
No, I'm saying the thing that wants you to light the candle wrote that.
I mean, fearing shadows and fearing lakes is not exactly bad advice if, there are spooky things around.
It's not, but when this thing was some sort of invisible creature, was asking me where I was going, knew my name, knew about Aelia, and said that it was here as a messenger, it's kind of ominous.
This all sounds like one big mystery to me, and I know how we can solve this mystery. Now hear me out, boys. Why don't we do what it's saying to do, and then if something shows up, we kick the shit into it.
No. Is the shit to that?
Philip, did you hit your head at any point? Apart
Not
from
recently.
Okay. Yeah.
A few times as a wee one.
Yeah, so that makes sense.
Oh, Degala, I don't actually know if you've been told about this yet. I cannot remember.
About what? This candle?
There's also some sort of other powerful entity of some kind after me as well. Yeah. Just...
Who are you?
We can't talk about the candle lady.
No,
There's a candle lady. I thought.
Don't say...
You've got a hack candle and you've got a candle lady. Who's this candle lady?
Stop it, Degala.
It's some sort of hag from the Feywild.
Right.
So...
There we go.
Val.
Yeah.
Can you roll a d20 twice for me and tell me both results?
Ooh.
Jesus Christ.
Oh no.
First one is a 6.
Nice.
Second
Either
one.
great or terrible.
1 second before you do that.
Yeah.
Oh god.
We failed it.
Oh, that's a D12.
Draynog,
Mhm.
what's your charisma modifier?
My charisma modifier is a 1.
I'm going to be terrified of Draynog now.
No. Now, who else just
I
said?
said it like 4 times.
Right. What's your charisma modifier?
+1.
What did you roll?
The first roll was a 6.
Yeah, and the next one?
Second roll is an 18. That's a lot better.
Do me and Draynog now get a +24 to our charisma?
No,
No.
you lose your charisma.
Okay. The gala,
Yeah.
when you say the name,
Mm-hmm.
the hairs on the back of your neck and on your arms go rigid. And you feel as though you've almost been flash dipped in the freezing lake or water or body of water, and it is sudden. It goes quickly, but it's there and it's immediately noticeable. Draenog, you get a similar sensation, but it's pleasant, it's warm. It's almost comforting. Almost alleviating of the stresses and the burdens that you've had the previous few days.
What is this?
Val will go closer to Degala, seeing the noticeable shock on his face, put his arm on his shoulder and just kind of lean into his ear and be like, "Don't say the name, please."
Not even the title?
Nope.
Then how
That's the only name they have. Names hold power with Fae.
Yeah, I can feel that.
Don't
like
mention it.
It's like I'm freezing where I stand.
Yes.
What is this that's chasing you?
I don't entirely know. But I don't know what it wants. And saying that name and the candle that Philip has is something to do with the whole thing. Draenog, again, just please don't say the name.
I'm sorry, it kind of just slipped out, and it's
a very easy title to say. I know, I get it.
Do you want me to keep an eye? You know what? My circle have dealt with these kind of beings before. It might be worth me keeping an eye on the candle.
That is a point. Draenog, roll Arcana for me.
Yeah. Roll Arcana. Oh. I can't get into the owlbear thing that we're using, so I'm just going to do it on.
That's okay. I mean, hopefully it's not going to be needed in the near future.
I think, seeing as your computer's struggling, probably best use Theatre of the Mind today.
As best we can. But it's working at the moment. I don't want to tempt fate, but we do need to get that sorted before next week, just because you lot are...
4 plus 4, so an 8.
Okay. Yeah, you don't know about that. I mean, if this kind of thing has been discussed by your circle, it's certainly not something you're aware of. It's certainly an odd title. Normally, your understanding of the Fae is that because a lot of it is they are very whimsical, they are very mercurial, but they are all almost without exception flamboyant and proud, and they're the epitome of all the different vices in one package, with each vice being prevalent at a different moment due to a different provocation. They're very hard to read, very hard to know, but almost to a name, they are all very... They have the kind of names which command respect and awe and are memorable and are grandiose. This isn't really that kind of name, but for whatever reason, if this is the kind of reaction that someone's having, especially somebody that's claiming to have an archfey patron, that's worrying, not encouraging. There's power in a name. There's power in titles. And this is quite a simple title.
Whatever it is, it wants us to read the rhyme, the one that we saw in the hut, Draenog.
Well, read it or enact it, because
probably both.
What happened in the hut? What was the rhyme?
It was a bit weird. We ended up in it was almost like an illusionary sort of thing, but there was writing carved into the stone wall. It was like the beginning of what I recall to be a nursery rhyme that was used to just terrify children. But it obviously is, there's a lot more to it.
Can you tell me the nursery rhyme? I may have heard it. I may have some insight.
I've got it written down. I don't really want to speak it.
I mean, we've said it before and nothing's come out to attack us.
It almost did, Philip. Do you not remember we almost got transported to a different place in that hut? The floor started filling up with water.
So if we say this, our boots are going to get wet. Not very scary.
Right, I'm going to turn back to Degala.
James, you're muted.
I'd still rather keep my feet dry.
Also very fair. I will, where Val has made a note of the beginning of the rhyme, and now this bit that was etched into the cloak, I'll sort of just show it to Dagala.
Right, read it out. I'll assume it's not in character, but read it out.
Oh, Jesus Christ, I need to remember the actual first bit. So it was... hold up, I've got it here somewhere. Let me find it.
I am desperately trying to read find it out.
Is the full thing there?
The full thing, yeah, I've got it here somewhere. Where the fuck is it? Oh, it's going to be in a different...
It's like raise the torch, raise the
Oh, yeah.
lantern.
Raise the lantern,
axe.
raise the torch, raise it high upon the porch.
Yeah.
Fear the shadows, fear the lakes is what we would have now.
Light the lanterns, raise the torch, set them high upon the porch. Fear the shadows, fear the lakes.
Yeah, that's all.
So, coming from an elven lineage, obviously with an element of fate connection there, just from the bloodline, does that rhyme ring a bell at all for
You can
Dagala?
roll Arcana with disadvantage.
With disadvantage, Arcana. Okay. That's a 7 plus 3, a 10.
Not really. I mean, there's certainly been nursery rhymes in the past.
Yeah. But not that one specifically.
Normally they're towards, fearful beings or fearful foes from the War of Wrath or from the Great War, or figures which are believed to be, or are certainly known to be, from the few elves which are the original elves, and therefore have either directly descended from or themselves, in the very rarest of cases, lived through the events themselves.
Yeah.
There's a stapleism of there's history there. There's fact there. It might have been made more grandiose. It might have been given colourful descriptions, but it's based on something. Villages and towns do have a habit of coming up with nursery rhymes, especially the ones that tend to be preyed on by monsters. It is a easy way for parents to impress upon the children, in a way that they can remember, warnings and advice to keep them safe. Don't go to this place because there's a particular woman that died there. They turn that into a nursery rhyme because it's how the children remember it. It gets embodied not only when they sing it to themselves, it's something they sing to each other in play. It's an easy way of spreading that message. You've not heard this rhyme.
Okay.
But it has the same kind of cadence of an actual nursery rhyme itself.
Yeah.
So either it's said somewhere where you've not heard it, or this is just a little known nursery rhyme.
I can't say that I recognize that at all.
No.
I mean, I'm not much of a Slanu. That was my father was more of a Slanu, so he might have more insight and depth into this sort of thing. But
A Slanu? What's a Slanu?
a Slanu, it's how would you say in comedy? It's a magically inclined elf. He was
Aren't you all magically inclined?
magically trained. So he was a healer, effectively. He was a great healer of our people in the Alien Age, and but was technically undocumented.
To be fair, Val actually does speak Elvish, so he probably does know what that meant.
That's all right. It might be more
But
an Alien Age word.
me, Callum, did not. So.
That's fine.
Val will say, it's whatever it is very powerful enough that my patron had to give it sanction to pursue me in a fit when I fell out of favor.
So hang on, wait a minute, hang on. You're the person who gives you your power to make you go out of your hand. That person has sent this individual after you.
Not sent specifically, but allowed it to, I guess.
What sort of relationship are you in?
A complicated one,
Well, this is why you don't upset your patron.
for which I am learning the very difficult way.
What did you do to upset your patron, if you don't mind me asking?
That's not a story for right now. All we need to know is there is a lot of things after me for some reason or another, or after my daughter, which is why we need to get there as soon as possible.
Val, do you remember our conversation?
Yes.
It may help us survive if you tell us.
If you know things
We've
that
got a
are...
while on
Gwyn's
the road.
right. What was that,
Yeah.
Cassian?
We've got a while on the road. You might as.
Yeah, we can get off and we can all listen in.
Story time on the wagon.
Maybe.
I mean, we need something to do on our way to was it Baledran?
Baledran. Yeah.
Baledran. Yeah.
It's not like we've got booze or whores to keep us entertained.
Oh,
got booze.
Cassian.
I mean, we have horses to keep us entertained. This is grey and this is brown. That's their names as well as their colours.
That's a
Very reductive names.
yeah,
good to
very
remember.
inventive.
But that's what people called them, and I asked them what they'd like to be called, and they said, well, that's their names.
Well, if they're happy with it, then I trust you. Before
So-
Cass says anything.
Are we all happy to head off now? I've got the horses ready, and I've not noticed any kind of spooky things around, so we should be fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very well.
So, the wagon and the horses pull you back onto the road, and you continue on your way. Now, with the light starting to pick up and brighten, with the sun rising in the east, cresting over the mountains in the far distance, and bathing the land in that amber glow, that warmth from yesterday picks up. It is pleasant. It is, again, despite everything that's kind of occurred so far with the strange happenings and the nightly visitations, it is heartening in a degree. Even though you're kind of shielded largely from those glows by the fabric of the wagon, you can certainly kind of see it illuminating the path ahead. And it's a much more inviting journey, even flanked as you still are by those cluster of trees on either side. And for a while, even the close proximity of the trees and the fact that close to where you had set camp there was evidence of that chalky residue, even that doesn't deter from the elevating, calming kind of impact of the pleasant weather. And before long, the trees start to ebb away, lessen, and then vanish entirely, giving way to further open fields leading west. Small streams kind of breach the path off in the distance and then also cut across the fields in small pockets where some of the animals go to graze. There is evidence, different places that you can see off in the distance, very small homesteads, very small places, and small man-made pathways leading to and from the road from these areas. Now and then you can see off in the distance very small dots of movement as people are moving back and forth, going about their day, going into the fields, whether that's to tend to their own crops, whether that's to go and visit a house that's also visible off in the distance, or just going off to either visit towards these forests from which you've just come past, small woodlands, or going off to their own creeks or their own hide holes. No one ever really travels far away from their homes unless they have a reason to go and visit the capital. And these people are treading these paths with a familiarity and a surety of movement which suggests that they've been here for a while. And again, it is all heartening, it's all familiar. And off in the distance, as you start going into your conversations, the sound of birds flying overhead, moving in their congregations from place to place, or just giving off songs, is a nice pleasant chorus with which you travel. And on either side of the road, now and again, you can see different pockets of small shrines, small kind of highway marks. One to also gauge distance is what people tend to use to try and get a rough idea of how far they've traveled or how far they still have to travel. Not so much marks with writing, because not everybody can read, but more of a kind of indicator that when people reach this point, they know how long they've got to travel. But also there is markings upon these that each of you would recognize without any sort of checks or anything to be symbolic of the seven divine. Especially around hamlets, around small towns, even more than it is in the city center, in the actual city. The faith in the Seven Divine is very strongly felt, very strongly adhered to. It forms a core component of everyone's day-to-day lives, and even on way markers between places, their symbols, their names, or for those that can read it, are etched as a kind of tribute and a kind of acknowledgement, a way of appeasement by giving tribute towards the Seven Divine. And these little things are noted. And on this journey, as you continue to go, you have time to have any and all discussions that you do wish to have.
I think if Draenor had been, sticking his head out at one point and seen one of these markers to the Seven Divines, he kind of would have scoffed a little bit and then, headed back inside his tent. Not his tent, inside the wagon.
Okay.
Love that. Degala is gonna grab Gwyn quickly. Gwyn, a quick natter. It doesn't have to be in public, it's fine. It's more of a curiosity than anything else.
Sure,
You've mentioned quite a bit your sister, right?
Yes.
She's killing my people, isn't she?
Yes, most likely.
Yeah. I mean, I'm guessing you don't necessarily agree with what she's doing or how she's doing it, things like that.
Well, I'm currently not fighting your people myself, so hopefully that says something.
It certainly does. It certainly does. I appreciate it. I mean,
you don't have to appreciate it.
Well, I do, unfortunately. When people aren't aggressive towards me, it does honestly require approval sometimes.
I understand that feeling.
You do, exactly. You've been an outcast in your own way. Are you close with your family?
No.
Not at all.
No, not at all.
You and your sister do not get on.
Let's just say we don't see eye to eye.
I understand that. I'm like that with many of my lineal brethren. It's good to know, though. It's good to know that the sins of family don't have to carry on through a family.
Well, I hope that's not what's happening with me with this thing that's inside me.
Yeah, we really need to get to the bottom of this red man. I mean, don't get me wrong, kicks ass when need be.
Degala.
Yes, Gwyn.
If anything were to happen, like something that seems like I'm more out of control than usual.
Yes.
If I were to hurt any of you, promise me it'd be quick.
I promise. I specialize in speed.
I know. That's why I thought it'd be best to ask you.
Of course. I will, I'll make sure it's over in the flesh.
I don't want any details because usually I can't see what I'm doing, what it's doing, but I can. It's strange, liminal bullshit. I don't know. Yes.
If it comes to it, what would you like me to do with your body?
Oh, burn. My family don't deserve my body. Yes, I deserve what I get.
You shouldn't be so hard on yourself.
Well, if I kill friends, then
You
who am
won't. You might hurt one of them, but by that point I'll have put you in the ground.
I don't know. I've had my thoughts about Cass.
Oh, I think we all have, haven't we? He was sound asleep yesterday. I could have strangled him in his sleep.
Yeah.
Hi, Cass.
Huh? What? What are you saying?
Filthy elf.
Consider it done, though, Gwyn.
I appreciate it.
I take that request seriously.
And I'm sure Cass did hear that conversation.
Yeah, so am I.
He's just there twiddling a dagger. Just sort of flipping it in his hands.
He sat there thinking you were shit in Lord of the Rings.
Took down an elephant on his own.
I didn't mean
that. Right.
Yeah, it's not a big wagon. Unless you are stepping off the wagon to have a quiet discussion, what you say is going to be overheard. It's not a big wagon. Yeah.
Yeah. That's Diggo's 2 words. He's gonna keep an eye out in general as well, like with his absurdly good passive
absurd
perception.
schools while you're having this discussion together. There is an odd addition to your wagon, which wasn't there previously.
Oh, what's Philip done?
There is a obscene number of sticks in the corner.
Is somebody planning to build a bonfire?
I hope not in the wagon. This is very
Yeah, in the wagon.
It popped my head up from inside. Did anybody put sticks in here?
You expect me to fondle with nature? No.
Sounds like a Philip thing, if you asked him.
I don't really want to talk to him, if I'm perfectly honest.
Wow.
Don't fondle with nature.
Yeah, maybe it's just for some firewood. I don't know.
There's firewood everywhere around us. It's
Depends
better
where
to get...
we. Depends
Not
where
now,
we-
there's not.
There's not firewood everywhere around us.
Yeah.
It makes
Wood came
sense,
away to
actually.
Woodward Fields at this point.
I'm going to go down and just sort of like... There's nothing living in here, is there? Lift it up.
Oh.
Yeah.
Just a large number of sticks of different lengths.
Philip?
Width.
Philip?
Pokes his head through the back of the wagon. Yo, hello.
What are you doing with the sticks, Philip?
Firewood.
What are you really doing with the sticks, Philip?
Firewood.
Do you know what? I'm not sure he's smart enough to have the capacity to lie. Okay, yep, cool.
There's the moment as he kind of dips away where he's trying to catch up whether or not that was an insult or not. He's largely kind of focused on. It's really hard playing a dumb character.
He is blessed with a
Props to
fascinating
Ryan.
intellect.
Yeah. Yeah. So there. That's
Okay.
pretty much it.
Cool.
Who else is doing what during this? You've largely got a day still to go.
Yeah.
Val will, on the back of that conversation, just say to Digala, you could probably just throw the sticks out if you're that uncomfortable with them.
I'm not uncomfortable with them. I just like to know why new things are on board, you know?
Yeah.
People are worried about things catching fire, you know? You lot are worried about a candle, you know?
Where is Philip? Is he in the back of the wagon, or is he like on the?
He's walking behind it.
Has he left his satchel or backpack or anything in the wagon?
No, he's got it on him.
Oh.
Yeah, I was gonna-
Yeah, I mean, at the pace that Philip walks, he doesn't need to be in the wagon to keep up with it.
yeah. We really need to get that candle away from Philip. I don't trust him with it, but I am definitely not strong enough to wrestle it from him, so we might need to go a sneakier approach.
So
So,
Gwyn are quite strong.
If we took time,
or Cassian, maybe, because you're pretty slick with your hands for, not in
Well,
that
thank
way,
you.
but you know what I meant. You could probably steal it from him without him noticing, right?
if me and Digala
yes.
hold him down,
I don't think he's going to take that very well.
No, I mean, if he goes to sleep tonight and you want me to get it off him, I can try and get in his pack.
When did this game become so
No,
sexual?
Since James,
I didn't even try to be sexual then.
When I try to get him off later, get it off.
Get it off him!
I'm so sorry for those.
there's just such a large pause between them.
I feel like our disclaimer needs to be reworded.
Yeah. Contains
Just-
maybe dark themes and lots of sexual innuendos.
Yep.
Dark and horny
Then-
fantasy.
Everyone's favourite.
It's a very
We're
niche
just writing
market.
a really long fanfic here.
Should we be streaming on OnlyFans instead of
Yeah, maybe.
No.
on stream?
It's called Dungeons and Dragons for a reason.
This is very true.
So obviously, as you guys know, Philip,
Steer it back.
Philip doesn't.
What do we know, Titus? What do we know at all?
Philip doesn't sleep the normal sleep.
Yeah.
So it is possible to try and take it from him.
Hmm.
It will be a little harder than it would be from someone that is sleeping normally. He has a very similar sleep state to what Degala has.
Draenor will pull out his staff and twiddle along the curves of it and the etchings, and he'll go, I think I have a way to distract him, and he'll use minor illusion to produce a black candle in his hand.
That's actually a very good idea.
Gwyn's gonna go, oh, Draenor, when did you get that candle from Philip? What magical mystery have you done?
Oh, we're doing it now?
Just,
oh, shit.
We are
overplaying
actually
it.
doing this now because
Strike when the iron or the candle is hot.
Roll perception with advantage because you're being given help from Draenor.
I was going hard for like not helpful, so thank you for the advantage.
No worries. I mean, you've got it. You like visualize there for a dwarf which insists that he doesn't understand nor perform magic himself.
I feel like the three of us who aren't involved in this are just staring like, what the fuck are you doing?
Well, does it help if I got a nat 20?
There is a rustling and the pitch of the wagon as Philip climbs on the back and sticks his head. Go. You've been in my bags.
Well, I wanted to check out the candle as well. I wanted to do some, detect magic on it and try and work out what kind of candle it is.
Cass.
And I'll be holding
Go,
this
Cass, go.
black candle.
And he will
at that
move
moment-
his bag around while he is like leaning on the end and open it as though to look in. Because you got a natural 20 and this is Philip, he's going to kind of look, but rather than look to see whether or not he's got his own, he's more going to extend the bag to you, be like, put it back, it's mine, before I take it from you. I don't know
As
where
he does that,
I was gonna say, as he does that, I'm gonna be like, I'll put it back for you, and I'm just gonna try and take the actual candle out at that time.
We'll do a sleight of hand opposed by his perception. Normally, because it's there in front of him, it'd be very hard for you to kind of do, but with his natural 20, we'll just make it a straight roll.
It says perception -4, so 6.
I'm also going to...
It is perception. His perception is
quite good because he's whizzed it. Oh no, he's charisma.
No, his passive for perception is an 8, so that is -2.
I will also create with Druidcraft very quickly. I'll just whisper a couple of little elven words and have some leaves sort of spectrally fall in front of his eyes, sort of with a couple of little small blossoms in them.
Okay,
This poor guy.
Can't do anything to defend himself here.
I know, I feel so bad.
Yeah.
This is really
do.
bad, like, etiquette.
To be
for
fair,
D&D.
I mean, I am making rolls for him.
I wasn't
I'm not
expecting us to
I'm
kind
not
of
just
just.
having this happen. I am using.
Yeah.
Go on then, make your roll. Okay.
I rolled a 19 for 25.
I got a 19 -2 for a 17. Okay. As he's looking, watching your hand going in, there is a moment where he starts leaning over, and where you can see the edge of the wick of the candle, there is a moment where you think he's going to lean over and see it, and then all of a sudden, the little leaves and similar start appearing in front of him. Oh, starts having a look around, and in that moment, as he pitches back and has a look, resetting his balance as he starts to wobble on the singular wooden step on the back of it, your hand goes out, and although there's nothing for you to grab with the illusion that Draenor's done, when you pull it out, where are you putting this candle?
Slip it into my own backpack.
Okay. Go straight in. Oh.
There you go now, Philip. It's all better again.
Draenor, I think we need to have a talk about boundaries.
Okay. Well, I had an interesting conversation about consent the other day, so this would be good to talk about as well.
I'll let you off this time.
Okay.
Not again.
But it's. I thought we were
Remember
like.
the conversation we had about your hands?
Oh yes. Okay.
And he disappears through the back of the fabric, and then the wagon rights itself as he steps off.
Sorry, Ryan.
Yeah, sorry, Ryan, we love you.
I'm not.
We needed to get that candle away.
We did. Yes, we did.
All right, who actually wants this fix?
I
Just
mean,
a
I'll take
story.
it.
No.
Draenog, you said first. I'll pass it to
Yeah.
Draenog.
I was the original holder. So far, it's been the safest with me.
I know about these kind of things.
Do you?
I can do detect magic and things like that.
Oh, okay. Well, do that out the front or on the roof. There was a lovely place up there. If you do it on the roof whilst we're traveling, so Philip can't see it because God knows is really bad at looking at things. Clearly. So.
I'll do it a little later when things have settled down a bit and it's a bit quieter.
Good plan.
So I'll just put it in my pack with my healer supplies, my new healer's kit.
Okay.
Thank you.
How far is Ostia to Baledran in terms of distance? Do we have a rough idea?
So the distance.
Yes.
Just pull them up.
At least this long.
So you're looking at about, more or less, it's about 50 miles.
Okay.
Okay.
It's not massive, but you got to remember, people don't we're not talking car movements here. We're talking a slow-paced,
Yeah.
travel
So
the roads where bandit attack. You have to constantly be on the lookout for those kind of things. And with the amount of rest times that you're taking, you're probably averaging about 3-4 miles an hour, based upon the book's speeds and stuff it's given you, and that's basically what I'm going off of. There could be arguments for real, how quickly people can move miles per hour walking pace, but I'm not complicating it. So
no, that's fine. It's just I switched out aid because who needs aid? I mean, we don't need extra health. I switched it out for animal messenger. So, so if I befriend a bird, I can then use a bird to send a message 50 miles. So
Okay.
I can contact my druid circle when we're closer. Right now, going over the mountain, sending a bird from here over the mountains is a bit much. So I just at least have in my head roughly that once we're past the mountains, it seems reasonable that I could send an animal messenger.
okay. I mean, have we?
That's all it is.
If you just want to pull up the map for us, Josh, assuming that I can. I don't know whether or not we're in.
It is not up at the moment, I'm afraid, because of the battle map. It took precedent. So yes.
Hang on.
Oh yes.
Hey,
James,
there
pull
we
up the
go.
actual map.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
not visible. I can't really see my camera.
I have it on Discord as well for
It can be. Hang
Yes.
the
on. I
chat.
will,
So if they go on to perils.uk, that'll take them to our Discord.
No worries.
perfect. Thank you, James.
Yeah, so as you can see from, in fact, James, you can read out for us where you can see Baledran on the map.
Yep.
It is just south of a cluster of mountains.
Yes.
To the west of that is another cluster of mountains, and beyond that, a large body of actual woodlands. Not a small pocket of woodlands like the ones you've just passed. This is an actual physical, map-worthy body of wood.
Could I can't say that. Could Athon? Maybe.
Pull up the
Don't
name.
thought.
It's one of those.
It's Clyde Avon.
Yes.
That's what Draenog will, correct Cassian when he's looking at his little map.
Yeah,
I don't know what are these words, but
That is where your druidic circle is.
yeah. So that's why I just wanted the rough, guide so that I know at least once we get kind of to the mountains or over the mountains, it's reasonable that I could do that kind of animal messenger. Yeah, that's all it was. And I don't need aid until whatever, so we're fine. We don't need it. Who needs extra health? It's fine.
What?
Definitely not Josh.
I can befriend a bird and send it to send happy messages to people. Why would I not invest in that?
Or we could send the candle.
It's just a few pesky second-level spell slots. We're fine.
Or we could send the candle to them.
We could send a candle. Can they carry a candle?
I wouldn't recommend sending a bird randomly with Hag's candle off into the woods.
Can't trust the bird not to light it.
Exactly.
Do you know, I just realised you can light a candle with Druidcraft.
You can.
You
Do it.
could.
Only one way to find out for sure.
I mean,
One day we're just going to do shits and gigs and just light it.
Josh is desperate to. Josh is desperate to.
What is Digala?
Oh, Digala, don't give a fuck.
Would Digala not have been brought up on the...
Umbra in trouble.
No, Digala would not do it, obviously. No, he
Would
wouldn't
it
do
be brought up on, like, the fairy tales?
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah. Not making deals with fey creatures.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hags equal bad is what Digala's grown up with.
In fact, one of the oft-touted propaganda pieces from humans is that the origins of the elven, or one of the reasons why they have their magic is because they made dealings with not the gods, because it casts the gods in a negative light to have their magical abilities received from the gods and perverted. As such, it is more a case of the gifts that they were given from the gods became perverted through pacts with fey creatures and other unholy beasts and similar.
Can you imagine, bastards?
You know what? I'm going to write that down as like Draenog's lore canon that elves got their magics and were cursed with long life, i.e. they see everyone they know and love die. That is now Draenog's headcanon.
I'll watch all of you perish.
Not if we
No,
kill
it's
you
what-
first.
It's also well known that although elves are quite long-lived, they've long lost their longevity and their immortality through age. After the first few generations, the ones that survived the War of Wrath, their future generations started to actually pass after long periods of time. So now the average elf will live to about 700 years, and that is considered
Heartbreaking.
a much shorter lifespan compared to the elves of yesteryear.
Absolutely heartbreaking.
If Aethon is claiming to be one of the first elves, he could be millennia old.
Yeah, exactly. As they get further away from the original pact makers, the bond is weaker and weaker. So they return to a normal life, but they're not as powerfully inclined. It makes sense for Draenor.
Indeed. So yeah, in answer to that is the case. So what other stuff is going to be the priority discussions that you want to have? Anything else during this other leg of the journey?
Digala's all good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go on,
Anything
James.
else that needs to be noted or done?
I'm all good.
Okay. For my own peace of mind, who is keeping the candle on them?
Draenor.
Draenor.
Yeah. If anybody, I think Val would trust it to Draenor.
I just feel like it should be the person with no magic.
To be fair, I can resist a lots of magic.
I can resist, I think... Actually, no, it might be next level. Never mind.
Cool. Okay, so the journey continues on through this pleasant landscape. Off in the distance, the mountains that you can see towards the west, not the Worldspine Mountains, these are a lot closer. They are still massive in scope, to the degree where you can't see the lands beyond it. On the horizon, which previously had been dotted with different kind of features and a wide expanse of greenery, is now just a distant, but still considerably vast wall of mountains. And at some point between them, where you can see a solitary mountain on its own and then a longer line off towards the left, there is a very small valley which leads through from the eastern side where Baledran sits, off towards the west, and the woodlands that lie beyond that, as well as the road going further on towards Neredaeth. Now, the humans would certainly know, given that it's this close to Ostia, that in fact we'll do a history roll for... It won't be the Gala, because my understanding is that you haven't left Ostia.
Nope, just escape the alienage.
Yep. So everyone else can roll history.
Oh, what? Sorry.
Val would know.
History.
I'm a fresh
what,
boy.
For Baledran.
Yeah.
Nope.
11.
It's a 4 for Val.
Okay.
Sorry, I forgot what the roll was. What was it?
History.
I completely blanked out there. I
I feel like
12.
Draenog wouldn't really be too knowledgeable about it. The way I've kind of been playing it so far is he doesn't even remember what it's called. He's just like, oh yeah, it's this human town where they do
Yeah,
human
fine.
things.
To be honest, then it's probably more.
I rolled a nat 1.
Perfect.
0.
There you go then. Despite its close proximity to Cader Athian, there's not a lot that'd be known by Draenog. It's likely then that in his travels he didn't take the route east. He likely took the roads south and then east from there. Unlike Gwyn, who would probably be more well versed in this particular area, did Cassian roll as well?
Yeah, I got 11.
11. All right, so you both know it's not really high DC. Baledran itself is well known as a mining town. So whilst the bulk of the best resources can be taken from the Worldspine Mountains, that is largely the purview of the dwarves. It was certainly not to the extent where the humans had reached prior to their war of conquest pushing west. Even now, one of the main kind of gripes between the humans and the dwarves is the fact that they could, even if they weren't willing to fight as a man against the elves, they could at least supply the materials and the weaponry to the humans in order to push back and do that in exchange for some of the lands. But they're not willing to do that. And given the resources they have at their disposal, humans largely rely upon the mountains that are further east. Because even prior to the War of Conquest, going west, the Wolf's War, they still had access to these mountains. And this is largely where they get a lot of the materials from. Baledran is probably one of the most well-placed and historically relevant towns in terms of mining. A lot of the materials taken from the mountains, a lot from the stone, a lot of the metals are taken from here. It's well placed close to one of the solitary mountains where they don't have to worry so much about being too lost in the network of tunnels and similar. And a lot of the materials that they have mined from this singular mountain have persisted in recent times for this war. They've not had to push further south. They've not had to go closer to the Valley of Near in order to get towards the other cluster of mountains. So Baledran is largely, not the only, but it's one of the central and most important towns in terms of mining these resources, especially given how close it is to Ostia. It does make it a town that a lot of people move through, especially traders that like to take on some of these wares and sell them. It saves a lot of the people that do the mining the job of having to travel themselves, because obviously you take the miners out of the mountain, things aren't getting mined, and working in the mountains themselves is dangerous. You need experienced people to go these paths because tunnels collapse, people get stuck. There are even rumors that have gone to Ostia, although they fall upon largely unsympathetic ears to the people that don't have to experience this lifestyle themselves, of disruptions now and again of a particular influx of these materials being the resultant of tunnel collapses and them having to work around it. Loss of life and the reports of the loss of life that come from these kind of incidences is less important to the people that are buying these wares than the cost of the delays and the dissatisfaction of the nobles that this is all feeding back to. But it is, for all its risks, quite a profitable role to work in. Unfortunately, the smaller you are, the more likely you are to be put into this trade. You have to be strong to be able to mine out these tunnels, certainly. But when there's new veins to be discovered, when there's new pathways to go through, and those pathways, rather than spend time and resources opening them out and stabilizing them, you send in smaller people to see if they are worth stabilizing. So even children work in this town. everyone works in Baledran, but Baledran brings in revenue for the crown, and it's particularly with the push west for the war. Baledran is seeing a lot of activity recently, and a lot of activity means a constant flurry of movement and motion. One of the things that is heard from Degala, even at a distance now, is this is a feature which certainly Gwyn and Cassian would be aware. Well, more Gwyn than Cassian, I'd assume, especially if he's been keeping up to news with the goings on in relation to his own family. Is Baledran is particularly known for the tone of the bells, because the bells signify the long start and the short stop of your working day. You live and you work in accordance with those town bells, and even at this distance, in this open valley, on the very edge of his hearing, Degala, with his ridiculous passives, can hear the gentle chiming of those bells.
Does anybody else hear that?
Hear what?
There's a
No,
ringing.
you're hearing things.
There's a ringing, a bell. Something is going on.
You're definitely hearing things.
I mean, it's a ways off, don't get me wrong. But we're approaching something.
Probably Baledran.
Oh, do they have bells in your cities? I know they do in Ostia.
I don't
Most
know.
places will have like a town square or a church of some kind.
Oh. Well, we might be getting close in that case to Baledran. By the way, does anybody have some non-magical boots?
I do.
I can make some if you'd like me to.
Well, I was going to offer to make them a bit better before we
Oh.
get to Baledran. If you do, I can't do anything with magic stuff. I'm, as I said, as I've said in the past, I'm not exactly magically inclined. I'm no Slanu, but I can do some stuff. If anybody's got some shoes they want to be briefly better.
What do you mean by make them better?
And he pulls his sort of like side satchel up and pulls out just a bunch of, it's kind of like a little lip and a couple of little screwdrivers and a small hammer. It's like, I can screw with your feet if you'd like.
Sure, I have some very well-worn boots that could have some tending to, and he takes off his boots, and they are just muddy and well-worn, and probably made in the circle, so it'll just be kind of rough leathers.
So,
Oh, Drano, when did you last wash your feet?
Why would I wash my feet? I want to be connected to the earth.
It says, it's everything. There.
Feel the dirt between my toes.
Then why wear shoes at all?
That's where all the sticks have come from.
Because that's what I'm supposed to do in towns, is wear my shoes. Civilized.
Well, while we're going along on the wagon, Degala will use his cobbler's tools on Draenog's boots.
Which is a good time to remind everybody about how tools work now. Tools do allow you to do certain things with them, aside from providing advantage on certain skill rolls if they are applicable in how they're used and how they're utilized for it. Things like cobbler's tools, for example, can be utilized to spend a certain amount of time working on the certain shoes, and if you are trained in it, the benefit, I believe, is you get advantage on your next.
It gives advantage on the wearer's next dex check.
There you go.
Yeah.
So it's things like that. It's worth refamiliarizing yourself with tool proficiencies, just in case they do offer those kind of benefits.
The DC is 10. Our proficiency bonus is 2 at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah. It's not until level 5 when it goes up.
That is a 14. So.
Yeah. So make a note, Drano. Your next dexterity check will get an advantage, as he basically tends to the base and the soles and refitting just to make them a bit more comfortable. Makes it easier for you to move and settle yourself into. It's also worth noting that certain tools will allow you to actually craft certain items and similar, whether that's to sell on or whether or not that's to potentially repair ones that you actually have, things like that. Go on.
But I was going to say, Val, before we get to Baledran, Val would just say to the group, I'll just check in with Aelia really quickly just to see if she's seen anything before we obviously go into the city. And I'll recall Aelia back to me temporarily.
Are you calling her to you, or are you connecting to her?
I'll call her to me because it's within a certain distance for the connection. So
Okay.
Okay.
You try and like pop first to be like, "Can you hear me?" No. Okay.
it's let me check the distance. I think it's a ways, but it's not.
I think it's a mile, isn't it?
Something
thought
like
it was
that.
realm.
Yeah.
Like
No,
plane.
no, it is distance. Only within 100 feet.
Oh, then no.
Ooh.
Yeah, so that's what I was saying. I'll probably just call her to me. I know she's probably going to be like, "Why the fuck have you done that?" But I'd rather be safe because the last time I didn't call her back to me, she died. So
Okay.
Yeah.
You call her back to you.
Mhm.
And when you do call her back, she materializes in the corner. And she is currently huddled over, not moving, and then she stops, lifts her head and turns and looks, sees you, and then the expression kind of softens slightly, and then she sees everyone else, and then goes stock still again.
Oh, sorry, I didn't expect them all to be watching. Guys, can you get like?
There's only so much space on this wagon, man.
Well, then hop out.
I am not walking.
I'm kidding.
There's a seat up front.
Fine, I'll take the seat.
It's fine.
Try and
You
go
guys,
pop off the wagon and just walk alongside.
no, it's fine.
The
You
gal's
guys-
gonna
fine.
run ahead of it.
I put a cloak over Philip.
He's
actually
walking
awake.
behind us at the moment.
It's just
It's fine. She's seen all of you before, but she can be a bit shy. That's fine.
I still
Yeah.
put the cloak over Philip.
Sorry.
He just walks out behind the wagon with a cloak over it.
Spooky ghost.
come on, Philip, let's race.
Yeah, Val would just say to Aelia, sorry for pulling you back, but I just wanted to be safe and sorry if I couldn't connect you telepathically like we normally do. I assume you were out of the distance, but we're coming up to Baledran, so I just wanted to know if you'd seen anything, any updates.
I was over in Baledran and I was having a look, so I know that they start sending. They've been using children to go into the mines, and then just when they were starting to talk about the next ones that they were sending in, they started tolling the bells and everyone just went stock still. I was trying to listen in and find out why. They looked terrified, and then I heard something, and then went to hide, and then you called me.
What did you hear?
I didn't. Well, it was like a moan. I think is the best way to describe it. I don't know. It was.
Was it like a humanoid moan, or more of like a creature of some kind?
Kind of like. I mean, kind of. I mean, I heard Jarrell make that noise when he was hungover the next morning, but this is worse. But again, I didn't get much of a chance because you just called me in.
That's fine. Well, that's still good information. So everybody just sort of stopped in place when the bell rang.
Yeah, the bell started going off and everyone just went stock still.
Were they like just completely frozen, or was it just they were just?
It's like a game you used to play as a kid.
Interesting. Well, that's still really useful. Was there anything? Obviously, it's been like a day or so. Is there any whispers of the Forgotten or anyone nearby?
No, I didn't get much of a chance to because most of the people are up in the mines or running around, and most of the focus is on. They did say that they were. Well, I mean, they all looked exhausted. I'm guessing that's because they've been working so hard to get everything out with the war going on.
Yeah.
So I was trying to find somebody to follow, someone that seemed to be in the know, and I think I found like the foreman, the guy that works or oversees the mines, and he was talking about it, and then the bells started going off, and then he just froze, and everyone froze. It wasn't like he was like, I thought like someone had cast a spell, but his like eyes were moving, and then it looked like he was trying to see someone out. So he's like subtle movements of his head. It wasn't like he was stock frozen. I don't know what it was.
Interesting. I'll ask the others about it. They might know a bit more. But
Yeah. Okay. Degala, off in the distance.
Yeah.
You can hear the bells chime again, and that's where we're going to pause for the break.
Okay.
We're going to have a 15-minute break this time, just purely because I've got another restart prompt coming up on my screen, and I don't want to find myself coming back late to it. So I'm going to restart now, and hopefully it will be sorted, and I'll be back into place, ready to go.
Maybe we will be re-rolling new characters.
Yeah, we may well be. That's a risky move there, Ty, but that's fine. Not a problem.
Well, at the moment it says it's going to restart at 14 minutes past, so I either do it now or...
Oh, shit. Right.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Well, Ty, if we don't hear anything from you, we'll have rolled some characters for you on stream so you can see what the scores are.
I mean, come back at 15 minutes after 15 minutes and chat as you will. I will be coming straight back on. It's just a case of how quickly this laptop can boot up. So we will rejoin in 15 minutes, and then we'll pick straight back up. It might be slightly later depending on how quickly I can get this booted, but either way, these guys will be back with you. Hopefully, I'll be straight back with them, and we'll resume from there.
Yep.
15 minutes, guys.
What's up?
Ready? Take it easy, guys.
Oh, fuck, I've got you hidden, that's why. Titus! There we go. Welcome back. Oh, you're...
I think you're muted.
You're muted, Tyden, yeah. Your microphone, let me just change it for you quickly. There you go.
Nope.
I've requested that you change your microphone.
Hear me now?
Hey, there we go.
So apologies about that. 15 minutes was far too optimistic. I really kind of underestimated how long it'd take for the updates to do on this, but I didn't have a choice. It was one of those ones where it says, you are going to be updating at 14 minutes past.
Yeah.
Unless you want to do it now, and I was kind of hoping it'd be a quicker one, but it
Titus,
wasn't. But I was following on and listening to the old tales of
The Flying Dutchman.
Janice and the rest of it, and the wishes for cameos and stuff like that. I do have some bits and pieces in place that are kind of like, it might be a bit of a nod, but there's not that many, because to be honest, the only people that are really going to know what those cameos are a few people here. So there's not a ridiculous amount, but there are some. And to be honest, there was a lot of stuff in the old campaign that I didn't get a chance to use, so I've kind of woven it in. So even if you don't realise it, you might be rehashing old ground in some ways, but it's not
as long as we meet an old lady who likes mushrooms, I'll be happy.
Oh, yeah.
No one can play Mavis like Chloe can, so... But she'll forever be the crazy old lady who sat in a bathtub holding up 2 mushrooms, and that's how we ended the campaign. Not a campaign, a session.
I mean, that'd be a great way to end a campaign too.
It would be.
Yeah, it would, to be honest. Anyway, so apologies again, guys, for that taking as long as it did. As I said, I'm aiming to get access to a different form of getting on if I can next week. So hopefully this will be the last time we have deck issues. But anyway, we'll soldier straight on and make use of the time we got left. So, as we were leaving it off, Degala, you could hear the re-chiming of the bells off in the distance. Everybody had started filing out, including yourself in the wagon, where Aelia had reappeared and had been speaking quite urgently with Val. With Philip walking behind, currently carrying a drapery over the top of him, courtesy of Gwyn, I believe, while he's following on behind you. On the very tail end of your hearing out in the distance, you can hear the faintest chimes of bells, not 5 minutes after the last.
They've gone again. The bell. The sound of the bell. It's chimed again, everybody. Everyone.
Yeah, there's something to do with the bells. To go 1 second, and then Val will sort of wrap up the conversation with Aelia and just sort of send her back to sort of doing what she was doing.
Are you sending her straight back there?
Well, wherever she feels necessary.
Can you bump her back?
No, she'll have to go again, but I'll say to her as well, obviously we'll be in the same city now, so we should mostly be within communication range. So if anything happens or you hear anything, try and let me know. If not, I'll call on you again maybe later this evening.
Or don't you want me to just stay with you and then I can go off when we get there?
Probably actually could be easier. Might be better.
I mean, I'm not You know, it's not like one of them stopped and the other one stopped. They stopped
Yeah.
together. I mean, it was
Alright.
freaky.
Okay, and then you can show us where as well. Actually, that would be helpful. Yeah, stay with us for now, and then we'll figure out what to do when we get there. I'll let the others know about the whole bell situation.
Okay. I'm probably just gonna make myself not visible for a bit. I'll be in here. You need me.
That's fine. Yeah.
And then
Cool.
she vanishes.
I'll sort of round up the group again and just say, so Alia said that she was kind of keeping an eye on the mines. There's a lot of children working there, so she was keeping an eye around there. But she said when the bell rang, everybody just stopped still. So it was like, it wasn't like a spell or anything. Everybody just stopped in their tracks. Their eyes were still moving. She said the foreman looked like he was trying to look at something outside of his vision, his periphery. Does that ring any bells for either of you? Cassian, Gwyn, do you know much about this city?
I mean, it sounds very much like what happened to me last night.
Yeah. It's a bit weird.
But this is during the day, so...
Yeah. Is that a normal thing? Is that what the bell signifies? Everybody has like a minute's silence or something, or stillness? What, like... What does
Maybe it was
mean?
a warning. Maybe they're under attack.
Normally, shift end, right? Or
Wait,
start.
Degala, you said they rang again.
Yes, they did. They rang once about, I'd say, 5 minutes ago, before Elia, wherever she is, reappeared, and just now as well.
Right. Interesting. Sounds a bit weird. There's been nothing, Gwyn, that you've heard of that people just stop when the bells ring? As far as you
I
were?
don't think so. Let me just see if I remember. Would that be a history?
Yes, but we'll do it with disadvantage because your last roll was lower, I believe, when you did a history check.
Yeah, it was like 6 or something. Disadvantage, okay. I think that's a 12. Yeah, 12.
Okay. You don't recall anything, certainly not in connection to a Baledran that has done this. There's loads of superstitions for certain things, but by and large, these bells are they're used. Your understanding of it is it's used to signify the schedules of it. It's certainly not. Shifts are not normally that short, and it's certainly not used that as a regular. It's more of a way of timekeeping for a town where what you're producing is of particular relevance and particular importance. At the moment, they're able to trade it into Ostia and the rest, but a lot of their wares must also be going west. So keeping to a schedule, keeping production up, because you've got to remember that they're going to be working a lot harder than normal because they're going to be expected to provide wares, and similar to the garrisons and the troops out west, they're likely will be paid for this, but it's not so much going to be a can we place an order. It is we are expecting this amount, you will be reimbursed for your time, do not be late with shipments because we are fighting a war. So even then, he's saying that he's heard it again within 5 minutes. That is not normal. That's either suggesting they're getting a 5-minute break or their shift is 5 minutes. Or someone's messing around with the bell, and in a city that kind of is dependent on that bell. Yeah. Whatever it is, it's weird. It's certainly not anything you've heard of.
Also, Cassian, Gwyn, you know a little bit about this place. Is this going to be a problem? As he points to his face and just sort of like, I mean, I know in Ostia I could get around and it would be just about okay, but I've never been outside of the capital before. Is me being an elf going to be an issue?
I mean, it's an issue for Cass anyway, so...
This is true, yes.
But, I mean, there are dwarves here.
Okay.
And they aren't famously always friends with elves.
No. No, not always.
it's worth remembering that being an elf is not illegal.
It's not illegal.
You're not
No,
locked
I
in
know.
fight.
It's more attitude.
It's the one kind of positive you can look at is that you're probably not going to face as much. It's one of those kind of, you can flip a coin things. It's in the capital there is a lot of propaganda, because that is where their propaganda is focused, because that's where all the recruitment efforts go. That's where all the justification for the expenditure and for people being sent away from their homes for long periods of time is. They're keeping the people happy by explaining to them why their sons and their daughters have not returned from years of warfare. You don't want a kind of rioting going on and public disapproval and threats from noble lords and stuff about, we need our people back, we need our people. They're justifying it. So the propaganda machine is going hard at home. However, whilst the propaganda machine certainly is not going to be as strongly felt outside, you also need to remember the further west you go,
Closer to the conflict we are.
the closer to the conflict you are, which means that these people not necessarily are going to have their hatred fueled by propaganda.
Thank you very much, Arcane Ryan, for the subscription. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Especially given all the tech issues on my fault, so I do apologise, but thank you. But the propaganda is stronger in the east, but experience drives views to the west. Now, those experiences could be good. They could be, they could be witnessing a lot of barbarity on the part of the humans and less so on the part of the elves. But if you are fighting an enemy which is pushing as hard as the humans are, the chances of every elf fighting honorably and every skirmish being a 100% civil code of ethics type conflict is not going to be high.
No,
the elves, if they are pushed to desperation, are going to be doing some things which, to a human perspective, is going to be horrific.
Okay, cool. That's fine.
So here, in the middle ground between the east and the west, you're probably going to be a bit safer, especially in a town where they are so busy. If anything, they're probably going to have a bit more of a pessimistic view on the war because they're being worked their asses off.
Very true. Okay.
So it could be either way.
Right, okay. So I think we're going to be there about the end of the day today. And Val, you're saying that Alias saying there's some weird shit going on.
It seemed like it, yeah. If the bells are not supposed to be that frequent, and then when one did ring, everybody just literally stopped in their tracks as if they were frozen, but they weren't. So that, to me, screams of not necessarily danger, but something weird.
It sounds very peculiar. We need to keep an eye on this 100%.
Well, when we get there or closer, Alia's going to go off again and do her scouting like she usually does, because she's very good at not being spotted, so she can get around a lot easier than we can. And if she gets any more information, obviously she can feed it back to us.
Perfect. Okay.
One thing that you've been doing, aside from the fact that because the scenery has been changing, but it is largely undulating fields, and it is similar in pleasant, atmospheric, scenic environment around you. So the passage of time has largely been tracked more from yourselves by the point of the stone way markers on the either side of the road as you've been going up, and the passage of the sun overhead. What was previously seen but not so much felt, because the sun was kind of masked, or rather you were masked from the rays of the sun by virtue of the wagon, is felt more as the sun crested overhead, bore down on you, and then started moving west. The fact that the sun has now started vanishing behind the mountains shows the passage of time more than any particular movement. The conversations you've been having, whether it's been more than this, little bits and pieces, has occupied most of the time. And with walking, you're very keen, for those that are walking, are probably more keenly aware of just how long you've been going than those that are inside the wagon, not so much witness to the outsides. But the time is going on, and as the sun starts cresting west, and the night starts coming on, it is still warm, but there is a damper kind of feel in the atmosphere, suggesting that the consistent kind of warm spell is drawing towards a steady close. Whether or not that's going to be heavy rainfall or light rainfall, either way, those that are more familiar with it, particularly Draenog, would be aware that there's going to be a change in the weather coming soon. And you are starting to get to the point where lanterns, if you do want to be seen or see with more clarity, are going to need to be lit. You're not flanked on either side by woods this time. There is open terrain, but it's starting to get a bit darker and start to be a bit harder to see.
Well, do we find somewhere to shack up for the night in Baledran, or would we rather camp outside?
I mean, if there's whole houses.
We don't know what's in there, Cassian. They may not have a sex trade at all going on in that city. They
I
might
mean, if
not.
they're sensible, they will.
Hey,
It's a mining town, isn't it, right?
Exactly. They need somewhere to, let off some steam, so
Okay.
to speak.
I've not been to this town. It was over the mountains, and then it's a lot of people. I'd rather deal with the smaller settlements, but I think we could go there and see what's happening, and maybe stay a night at the inn. I'm sure they'll have an inn. And it sounds like the place is possibly being attacked or raided. Maybe the elves have been incurring along the coast, haven't they? They've taken over some place, so perhaps I don't know how close this is to the coast. Perhaps there's elves afoot.
Would that be such a bad thing?
I mean, if they're killing people, then yes. Would they see you as a traitor for working with the humans?
Oh, right. Okay. About that.
Yeah.
So, we should probably get something straightened out here in case we encounter any more elves. How best to put this? This is complicated. We don't talk to the elves about me. I am not working for the humans, but I have to work for the humans to work for my kin. Didn't
you say you were working with the Scholar Arcanum?
I am technically working with the Scholar Arcanum. Right. In our language, there is something called a Feltor. A Feltor is a traitor. They are an elf who tries to make their life better by working for the humans.
Oh, so is that what you are then?
Okay. Not quite.
Gala is a traitor.
I am working in essence as a Felter, but my ultimate aim is to bring down the Scholar Arcanum from within. People have tried it from outside. They have, caused issues from outside. They have sabotaged. They have done things like that. The problem is, if you're an elf, is being trusted by the Scholar Arcanum. And if you really want to do damage, if you want to bring that thing down, you need to start to do it from within. So I, quote unquote, work for them, but I use it for my own gains to ultimately bring them down.
It's worth knowing there, Val. You essentially speak Elven, and anyone else that speaks Elven. Felter is not a normal Elven word. It is actually the name of an elf in history and has been adopted for a slang meaning to mean traitor.
Oh, okay.
Similar to how Americans like to use Benedict Arnold to be symbolic with traitor.
Or an Andrew is a really dodgy dude.
So Felter is not a word that you'd recognize. Certainly, you're recognizing it as Elven because it sounds Elven. It's not a word that you would have learned in your lexicon.
Okay, interesting.
So, if we encounter elves, I will talk to them about me myself. I'm just a friend who's traveling with you. That's all. If anybody asks, please, I beg of you. It's taken a long time to cultivate this connection that I have currently with the Scholar, which I intend to snap at some point.
Okay, so
Fair enough.
felt, there is another word I'm not supposed to say. Okay.
You know what it means, Degala.
Yeah, I know.
From a historical standpoint, the pressed conflict between Selin, the Dark Lord, which led to her death, was forced upon her by Beltor, who was believed to be one of her closest confidants.
Yeah.
Her location and the time that she would be there was believed to have been betrayed to the Dark Lord by Feltor, which caused the conflict, which she didn't escape from, which forced the other races into that conflict. So, in a long-term way, it worked, but the elves have never forgotten that, and that name has become simpatico with, or whatever the word is, synchronous with traitor.
I'm surprised it's not
anonymous.
Cassian's middle name.
Well, he's not a traitor. He's honest to his race.
Who have I betrayed?
But yes.
Well, I guess then we can always go into the town, see if there's a tavern, scope it out, get a bit of a vibe check. If we're not liking what we see, we can just continue through to the other side and camp elsewhere. Does that sound good?
Yeah,
Sounds
plus
We can at least get some more booze.
the
Yeah.
spooky things on the road. So
So
Yeah.
on the subject of spooky things on the road, are lanterns being lit?
Yeah, I guess if we're struggling to see now, might as well let him up.
It's now coming in the late afternoon, early evening. And again, the close proximity to the mountains mean that any residual light that you'd have from the sun cresting over the horizon is early diminished by the fact that that sun is blocked by those same mountains, which now that you're coming closer are looming. These aren't small mountains, which only suggests the absolute enormity of the World Spine Mountains, which absolutely dwarf these ones. It's believed that the World Spine Mountains reach such an apex that if you were to try and get even halfway up, you'd probably suffocate before you got too far. They are huge, and being this close to these mountains does also shield you from a lot of the warmth from the sun. So whereas before it was pleasanter towards the later hours with the warmth still going on, and your close proximity to the trees, which also helped, you are now feeling a bit more of the bite of the cold in the absence of those twilight rays, coupled with the fact that the air is pretty damp, suggesting the impending onset of a change in temperature and the change in atmospheric residue does mean that you're feeling it a bit more. And as you kind of start setting up the lanterns and continuing on, the visibility of the fields diminishes and the world around you becomes smaller as your ability to perceive things. And again, that kind of claustrophobia of the previous days starts to settle in on you as your ability to see and perceive threats instinctively is felt more as it diminishes. But you can see the road ahead of you, and it's well kept, this road, because it is often trod, and whilst that wears away at it, it is also imperative that trade, particularly to a town like Baledran, maintains. So this is a well kept road. And you're seeing more and more markers, and almost seeming to crawl out of the dark as the hours start going on. Those markers start changing in function. They start going from indicators of distance to purely symbolic waypoints for different members of the Seven Divine, each one kind of attributed to one of the seven. And one thing that you start noticing as you go past one, you start going past the other on the other side of the road a bit further up, is there is a lot of flowers which are laid around these. Lots of old food stocks, lots of kind of offerings in terms of food and similar, which are themselves not necessarily old. They can't be more than a couple of days. They're certainly not eroded away or kind of picked at enough by wildlife to suggest they've been here for a while. So whether or not it's not unusual for people to go to these kind of things for the gods, although it's also expected that they would have similar kind of things within town. Travelers would normally leave offerings for these as a kind of help us on our journey type thing, depending on which gods you were kind of praying to at the time.
but there's quite a few offerings on these, and each one kind of crawls out of the periphery of the darkness towards your wagon as you start rolling past, and you start rolling past. And then after a few hours, you all start to hear, although distantly to you, louder to the gala, the ringing of the bells.
See, I told you.
And then minutes roll over, and the bells ring again.
So they're consistently ringing like every few minutes.
Yeah, but then this is a slightly longer pause than what you heard before. And as you kind of listen in and hear it, it's a hauntingly beautiful sound. These bells, whatever they are clearly ornately made. And whether or not anyone's actually made the visit to Baledran previously, they are a point of pride for the town. When it was originally erected by the humans, when they started pushing out and establishing themselves in Elysium, before they even named it Elysium at the time of the Great War, when they were pushing back against the Dark Lord, this was one of the central points of warning for any forces of the elves which were cresting over the mountains. That bell was the reason why it can be heard from quite a distance, is in such a place and of such a make where the noise carries. And it was used as an early warning point should any of those forces breach the valley between the solitary mountain on its own and the larger cluster of mountains towards its south. So it's not surprising that you can hear it. It is a very hauntingly beautiful sound, but it's far more haunting than it is beautiful, given that now that it's starting to get darker and you can't see that far, it almost seems to invasively pervade the space, ringing from the distance, from a point you can't see, only to end suddenly. And then minutes later, start again. Almost as though it's drawing you in, it's pulling you in. It's either that or it's trying to tell you not to come in. You can't really decide whether it's a warning to come or a warning to go, but you can hear it. And then after about 33 or so more minutes, you hear the ringing again.
So given what we know it's had, the effect it's had on the sort of townsfolk from what Aelia said, are we feeling anything from that? Or is it just that it's eerie?
It's just eerie.
Okay.
That
Something.
doesn't sound like an end of shift bell.
No.
No,
It's
it sounds
more-
like a warning. Like I said, the place could be under attack. Drano kind of, look over, at the distance, and kind of like put his nose to the air and sniff to smell if he can smell fire. Like if there's if you can see the glow of fire in the distance of a building on fire or something.
Yeah, roll
We-
perception.
Can we hear any shouts, screams, any distant chatter in general, or is it literally just the bells that we can hear?
Are you trained in perception?
Yes.
Probably not. No, I am not.
Who is trained in perception?
Degala.
Anyone that's trained in it can roll. Again, I'm trying to make
Yeah.
being proficient in a skill have.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's not bad.
I rolled
Finally.
an 18 plus 4 for 22 for trying to look for the glow of a building on fire and the smell of smoke.
Okay.
17 plus 6 for 23.
Oof.
I got 6. Oh, sorry.
3 plus 2 for 5.
Okay.
I got 16.
16. Okay. When your attention's going out,
Funny.
but the even with the lanterns lit, it's very difficult for you to notice or perceive anything beyond the threshold of this light. You can hear the sounds of the horses as they're moving pleasantly along on this track. You can hear the clip-clops of their hooves upon the ground underfoot every now and again, where it's nicking upon stone or cresting upon mud, which is still quite brittle and solid at this point. There's not been any rainfall.
And these are kind of drawn, although you're trying to push your attention out, it's being drawn back in by closer stimuli. Whereas those that are rolled 20 or above have more focus going outwards. Draenog, you don't see any lights in the distance which would symbolize fires or similar, but off towards the distance, towards that solitary mountain, because you're knowing where to look. Although you've never been there yourself, being so closely situated to Mountain Pass, you would know that there is a town on the other side at the base of that singular mountain. So you know roughly where to look. And you can see the outline of a sizable town. And your focus is going there as you're trying to draw upon any kind of amber glows or rising of smoke or anything that might symbolize a fire or a reason for the bells to be going. You can see the singular tower further towards the west, or what you believe to be towards the west, not the west, sorry, towards the eastern part of the town, where the bell tower is. But you can't, at this distance, make out anything more than that. For those that are kind of listening more than they are trying to look, although Draenog would still pick up on pieces of this, it's unnerving. More so than the ringing of the bells is the fact that with the bells comes and goes the sounds of life. When the bells ring, there is the very, very faint, because you're still a distance away, the sounds of motion, movement of a town that is suddenly sprung into motion, as though every action is being performed on a time limit. And then when the bells go, it is silent. And you only notice the silence because of how it counters to when the bell rings again. And it's at this point that you can start to make out in the distance, less so for the humans among you, but for those with dark vision, you can certainly make it out. This town is massively dwarfed by the size of Ostia, and it is certainly dwarfed by the size of the mountain which it neighbours, but it is still a considerable sized town. And you can see lights on in the town, within the different buildings. There's more lights on, in fact, towards this late in an hour than you would expect. People tend to go around when it's dark with the torches on, but for a town which is clockwork working at certain hours, people are quick to go to bed and quick to get up and go to and work. Their day is regimented. But in this late hour, there is enough lights on to symbolize that people are still up and moving. And your wagon is rapidly approaching this place.
Is everybody else hearing that?
Perhaps we should be, when we get to the town, when the bell rings, we should also stop doing things.
It's going to be hard with the horses.
Out of interest, how are the horses? Are they reacting at all?
Good question.
Not yet, no.
Not yet, but they will.
Their attention does towards the bells as you're getting closer. Is more the fact that they're not necessarily getting skittish, but you've also got to remember that the with their blinders on, the horses in their mind, they just have to keep walking, and their focus is very much intentionally directed to be upon the path ahead. So the only kind of stimuli they're getting is every now and again bells are starting to go off. Which, given that they were raised in Ostia, is not necessarily a new sound to them. So no, they don't seem to be reacting that much.
Well, I guess we've got to go through the town anyway.
I mean, we have two options. We stop before the town and wait till day, or we go into it now and stay in it overnight, where we can have more of an idea of what's going on, but we're right in the middle of it.
But there will be more of a chance of there being booze and horse.
Again, I cannot fault your logic here, Cassian. There is a much higher chance of that being in the town than outside of it.
I say it's worth a risk.
I mean, we might struggle to sleep if they start ringing these all night, but perhaps we could find out what's going on. Maybe we get into the town, see that there's, I don't know, creatures or something walking around, and then we go, yeah, actually, you know what, we're going to leave.
Well, I don't hear any panic. I don't see any chaos down there. It looks as though this is just normal life to them.
We could hold outside the town for a little bit. I can ask Aelia to have a little look around and see what she finds out first. Tells us whether it's safe or not. Or we can just say fuck it and go through.
How long had Aelia been in there?
Did she say? Tyler, she
said that she'd been in there, had been rapidly searching for someone to follow.
Yeah.
Everyone looked like they were in a flurry of motion. She finally managed to identify the foreman. And then while she was listening and overheard the talk about the kids going into the mines, the bells started ringing. He went stock still. She went stock still as well because she was freaked out.
Yeah.
And that's when you called her in. You got to remember, she's been flying the distance you lot have been traveling by cart, and she didn't leave too long ahead of you. So she's not gotten there much further than you, and she does have to rest or else get exhaustion. Whereas in theory, you could just keep going. So she hasn't gotten there long ahead of you.
Yeah.
It could be the case of it's not that they're not choosing to move, as you say, but they are choosing to move instead, choosing to not move instead for safety. It could quite literally be that this is a life preservation tactic. When those bells is something happening.
Maybe there's a warning in the mine or something like that, or a tremor or something along those lines. You know, it could be anything. We do not know.
Well, they might have guards at the gates. Maybe we can go up to the gate, see if there's anyone around, ask them what the fuck's going on, and then decide what we want to do from there.
I mean, we should definitely go to the walls.
Yeah.
Did it look... Can we tell if there's normal life outside of the walls, or...?
So, how close are you willing to get before you make the decision if you're going to go in at night or not? I don't want to kind of make an assumption for you and then find out that wasn't what you were going to do.
I think
We've not decided to go in yet.
The closer you get, the more likely it is you can see what's going on. But obviously, the closer you get, if something is going on, you're going to be hard pressed to try and avoid it.
I think we should head in.
I'm definitely down for going in.
Sure, why not?
Let's do it.
Just wants a drink.
Let's do it.
If in doubt, on the beat, stop still.
Yeah, but if the horses
Oh,
are
the
still
horses.
moving,
Oh.
that's what I'm
Well,
concerned about.
let's leave the carriage outside then.
Oh, do you want me to tell the horses to stop when the bell rings?
I mean,
If you think they'll listen.
when you pull on a rein, it stops, doesn't it?
Yeah, but they will
They
still keep moving.
they can't and things like that.
I can literally talk to them.
Yeah.
That may be a good option.
Yeah, I think. Look, Cassian's going to go inside anyway. If we let him go alone, he'll die. So
When we get closer and we actually see what's happening, then I'll tell the horses. The last thing I want to do is tell the horses, and then there's something, and the horses are just waiting.
exactly, yeah. Let's get
Worth
a bit
noting as
closer.
well
and
that
then we'll figure it out.
the path does come in onto the eastern side of the town, and it leaves Baledran and heads towards the pass, the mountain pass, or towards the south on the western side. So if you are leaving the horses and going into town, you'd have to go back and get them in order to, and then take them through town, unless you were willing to skirt the outside of it.
We can't leave them, really.
I reckon we keep him with us and just go up and check the gate out straight away and just get an idea of what's going on.
Yeah.
Let's
agree.
approach.
Okay. So the wagons continue going on, and at this point it is getting darker, especially now that you are this close towards one of the bases of the mountain. The mountain itself is largely grey in colour, and towards the peak is the snow-capped tops of it. You can only imagine the view from atop there, even at this late hour, with the sun off in towards the west. It's probably a beautiful view. But at the moment, your focus is largely upon the township, which is to its east. And it does crest towards the lower eastern corner of this mountain. And you know that where it starts on towards the eastern part, towards the roadway upon which you're approaching from, it sprawls out. Numerous houses, numerous different buildings, all stoneworked and thatch roofs of people that reside here and work towards the singular purpose of mining these mountains. Far more people are needed for this task than for
people that are more used to it, societies and ancestry such as the dwarves, which are raised in this kind of climate where they require less people. The humans are kind of working in an environment that they're not fully used to, and their naturally larger size does necessitate the lower working age that they utilize in order to work towards this purpose. And where you are in the distance, even from here with the lanterns lit, it would be difficult to see if it wasn't for the fact that this town itself is aglow. Lanterns, torches, sconces built into both the buildings themselves and lining the different streets give this place an illumination which makes it easier for you to see. And as you are approaching from the east, the two things that you do notice is this town itself lacks an outer wall. It doesn't have any sort of kind of defensive purpose, because unless you are a garrison town or symbol, and you've got the kind of wall to be manned by people that can man a wall, you wouldn't have people there. So there is no outer wall here for this purpose. It is more a case of with the open fields off towards the east and the fact that you've got a mountain off towards the west, if you see someone coming, you ring the bell and hope that there's help coming. And there is normally a rudimentary kind of militia that kind of helps look after this place. And different kind of ferried messages back and forth between nobles would mean that if this place did come under some sort of attack, it's going to be alarming because it's very close to Ostia, and two, you'd be able to muster a force from Ostia at pace, and they'd probably get there before the end of the day. So the chances of this place coming under attack, not terribly high. Even so, you would expect a few militia members at least visible. Where there would be a militia looking towards the eastern road, or at least keeping an eye on the road for any wagons that may come or not go, there is no one. There is no one manning it, but there is people within the town. At a distance, you can see people moving with purpose between buildings, speaking hurriedly with one another, almost to a man and woman that you can see, humans, not just adult, but younger, all dressed in normal clothes, all wearing normal kind of expressions. But the one thing that you do know, even from a distance, is that they all look exhausted. Not only by the way they're carrying themselves, and the fact that a lot of the conversations that you do manage to overhear carry an edge and a irritability, which would often be felt from lack of sleep. They visually look haggard. The people that are talking are all gesturing towards different wagons which are lining the streets further up the roads that you can see, which themselves are all laden with different materials that are likely brought down from the mountain. There are other wagons as well, which are laden with different wares, which are likely to have come from Ostia itself, based upon the fact that numerous ones of these wares carry different noble insignias upon the wagons or upon the actual crates themselves. Even seen at a distance, those crests probably don't mean a lot to a lot of you, apart from the humans amongst your group, which probably do recognize one or two of minor nobility that are basically selling their wares this side or that, or potentially sending it westward towards the front as a kind of favor currying tactic. The people that would normally man these, guards or similar, that would likewise have similar crests, are absent. The wagons are there, just kind of on one side of the road or another, as people are moving back and forth. Off towards the eastern side of the town, from the side you're coming, but a bit further up towards the north, you can see the outline of the largest building in this township, which you know immediately to be the Bell. And even from this distance, and even in this twilight, that building itself is very well lit, which itself allows people to keep a view of the whole of the township from the east. It also provides ample view of the valley towards the west from where the mountains is, where there is likely to be a similar
building with another bell, likely to have someone to notice an impending approach from the west. Once that bell goes off, the larger bell goes off, and it makes everybody aware. It is the system that used to be in place, whether or not it still is. Since none of you have said that you've come from Baledran in the near history, you're not sure. But the only bell you've been hearing going off, the one that's certainly carrying, is this one towards the east.
We can't see any militia, we can't see any guards, we can't see any like mercenaries who would be guarding nobles' wagons. It's just like civilians and peasants.
So roll the perception for me, everyone.
Ooh, dirty 20 for Val.
Nice.
A 19 for Gwyn.
12 for Cassian.
Anyone else? Is that everyone's?
I've
Right,
clicked
so
to
nothing
roll
below
in
a 10.
Discord and nothing's come up, so
Okay.
just have to grab a dice.
Josh, you're
Josh,
muted.
you're muted, Josh.
My bad.
Although we weren't just listening to you there.
Oh no, of course. Yes, yeah. It's a weird setup. Yeah, 18 for Degala.
Okay. So everyone notices as you're riding in, two things are of note. Nice.
Natural,
You got a natural 20?
Yes, I did.
Right. Okay. For everyone else, you do note there is evidence of places where guards would normally be posted. There is certain places where guards or militia members would normally be patrolling or keep to, and you can tell these from the fact there are bells, small bells, which would normally be rung in the event of militia needing to summon other members of militia to themselves quite quickly. There are no people kind of manning these places, but there's no dropped weaponry. There's nothing else. From what we say weaponry, people in this town would likely be arming themselves with pickaxes and similar things that they have readily on hand in order to do what jobs they can. But there's no one fitting that particular description. No one wearing the kind of low quality chainmail or leather jerkins or similar that you'd expect from someone that's going out with the intention of getting involved in any sort of trouble that they might come across. The people that are there look more like they're there for the common day, or they're going about their business. There are quite a few people, a large number of people, which are dressed in more rugged attire that you would expect them to wear going into the mines. And a lot of them bear evidence of the dirt and grime of having gone into the mines themselves. Drainog, whilst everyone else is kind of looking at this and trying to piece together where the potential militias are and noticing these different wagons and carts, you've noticed two other things. One, people have noticed you coming in. It's not like they've just ignored you. And the look on their face looks ambivalent, as though it is torn between a mixture of fear and a mixture of sadness at your group's approach.
Fear and sadness, okay.
Yes, a few people do obviously note the fact that you do have an elf amidst your party, and you also have a dwarf, and no one seems to even spare it another glance. They look as quickly at Degala as they do at any other member of your party, which in itself is potentially noteworthy, although you're not quite sure of the disposition of this town. The other thing you also note is that one person does look as though they're on the verge of approaching you to speak, but as she starts stepping off towards your cart, the man that's standing alongside her, that you can guess from the close proximity of when they were speaking is potentially her spouse or a husband, takes her by the wrist, shakes his head, and starts pulling her further up the road. She looks back at you, almost apologetically, and hurries up the path. Your wagon continues to roll on.
Has the bell rung yet and everyone stopped yet?
Not since we've come into the town.
Guys, I'm not sure about, I think Val mentioned a vibe check, but these people seem they don't seem to be bothered that I'm a gnome and there's an elf and there's a dwarf, even though they're basically, worried about being attacked, and they look afraid, and I'm kind of worried. I really think we need to. Has anyone else noticed a lack of fighting aged men? There's no guards or
Yeah.
100%.
these wagons. No one's protecting the wagons.
That may mean they don't need protecting.
Or there's something happening elsewhere and they're being.
Well, they've
fighting.
probably all been conscripted.
Oh. But
There's a good
no,
chance.
these noble wagons. These, when he points to the wagons and to, you and Cassian, they're probably not that big of a noble thing. But Draenor, it's like, oh, that's a noble, that's some sort of noble house symbol. I understand that's important. No one's guarding them.
Yes. Anyone who dared to attack a nobleman would probably lose their hands, that's why.
Oh, okay.
But I think Gwyn makes a good point. After my people took back Ven Zeth, there's going to be a call for more people to fight, to try and.
And there's
drive
also
my
the
kingdom.
mines.
And the mines too.
Well, what's the plan here then? Do we want to see if we can find somewhere to stay for the night in the city?
I think that'd be for the best, or at least find out what's happening.
Well,
Do the people look sad to you?
Mm-hmm. They
Yes,
look.
but I assume that's just, general
Peasant life.
peasantry.
well,
No, they look kind of sad and afraid, and they don't seem happy to see us. But they don't seem that bothered about us either. It's not like what's the human phrase now? They're not the noses. They're not turning the noses up at us.
yeah. Well,
They're not seeing me and pulling the usual kind of face.
that's good. But
Well, that
Well,
could
no,
mean
it's not. It's not good. People see me and they usually have a general expression, or they see an elf and they kind of yes, Cassian, exactly.
Yeah, yes, I know.
They're not.
how is
They're
that
not
a good
doing
thing?
because that means something's not normal.
Yeah. Well, why don't I hop off and ask somebody where the nearest tavern is and see if we can get some more info?
Oh, ask if there's a whorehouse.
I'm not doing that.
Please?
Since you asked nicely.
I think it may be fear for us,
Probably.
Perhaps.
not or pity.
Well,
Maybe. They
Maybe
see us
we-
and think, oh, they're an elf. Oh, how bad.
No,
That's
No,
not good to be an elf.
entering the town.
no.
Oh.
There's something else here.
well, let's go find out, shall we?
Since you had your natural 20 on your roll, Draydog,
Mhm.
I will provide a little bit more information
And my lovely rainbow dice as well.
with your lovely rainbow dice. Was that Rogue's Retreat?
No, these I've actually had for quite a long time.
I'm sure it would have been a natural 20 with the Rogue's Retreat dice.
Absolutely.
Hey, yeah.
100%.
21.
You have now, at this point, because your wagon has been continuing on and your focus has been largely on the people, and nobody stopped to slow your progress. You've come, certainly not the center of this town. This is a big town. You've come to what can be seen as a potential square of this particular kind of quadrant of the town.
Kind of the outskirts.
Yeah, it's enough in where in the distance you'd have to really kind of crane your neck and look, because being on the base of the mountain, the further west you go in this town, the more of an incline you get towards. Although this is towards the southeast corner of the mountain, the solitary mountain on its own, and it's still a sizable distance away. The mountain, the Baledran itself does spread westward enough that you come onto the incline of the mountain. So the further west you go, the more of an incline you're going. So you have to kind of crane your neck around to see the point where you've come in. But this is still a square not too far in. But where this is, you have about 3 different roads which connect off. You have one going off towards the north, one going off towards the west, and one going further south. There are a few people here, but no one is lingering. Everybody is still very much going towards wherever it is that they are moving. Quite a few of the houses that are here are not occupied, but the doors are not closed either. Lights are still going on, and there are people kind of going in and out of things, but the idea of latching up the houses or having somebody in seems to be secondary to whatever their focus currently is. And everybody that does pass you by, that does happen to turn their gaze and look at you rather than focusing on what they're doing, all of them have bags under their eyes. They are all exhausted. And one thing that does particularly get your attention, Draenor, is that some of the ones that are moving past you, the wagon, and that are paying you a bit more mind, even in their kind of bleary-eyed state, is the children. Even the children are exhausted. Even the children don't look like they're getting any sort of sleep. And now from where you are in this town square, the two things you do notice is looking up towards the bell tower, you can see that there is someone that you can see on the corner of this bell tower closest to where you are. Still very, very small, still too far a distance to actually make out much detail about them. But another figure kind of crests into view. So there's more than a singular person up in that bell tower. The other thing that you notice is that in towards the center of this square, there is a fountain. It is a fountain which is built with the very worn visage of a figure from one of the chiefs and tribes from when the human tribes first arrived. A name lost to you at this particular moment. You know you're not going to sit there and study this face when there's so much going on around you. But you do recognize this figure. And whilst this would normally be a place where people come to rest after the long days, or people come to chat, because it is quite a nice square, given that this is a mining town. Certainly not as ornate as Ostia, but it's still quite a pleasant square. Here, there is a cluster of crates of certain food stocks that they might have come and sold from wagons coming in that might have used this square to kind of sell some of their wares, of crates that are kind of overturned. Food stocks which are kind of scattered, not completely all over, but it's as clear as though someone's knocked it and just not bothered to pick it up. Here now and again you can see items of vegetation or fruits that might have been used, or fish that might have been sold, caught potentially down at the river and brought here for trade, that have been squashed underfoot and just left where they've been trampled. The water on the fountain is still going, and it's the cascade of water which obscures something that it does take your keen eye to kind of notice, that even Degala didn't pick up on when his guys were scanning over. He was more distracted by the fact that, hey, nobody's giving me the stink eye here. Your gaze is drawn to the fact that in this cascade of water, just behind it, there is a discoloration in the stone. And as you kind of focus on it, it is now to you, similar substance, a whitish substance in the shape of a handprint.
Oh.
Isengard.
Okay.
No.
Yeah. As we're kind of wandering in, and Draenor will sort of be like, do you remember that chalky stuff? And he'll point to like the fountain. I can see a handprint that kind of looks like the chalky stuff.
Great.
But it is alright.
Maybe whatever was on the road and that village is around here as well.
Well, we don't even know what that was, do we? I mean, you saw... Remind me what you saw, Draenor. Was it monsters or men who were coming for you?
I saw some sort of white... The people... My compatriots ran down the hill towards the water to fight something. As I fled and I looked back, there was some sort of white figure. Sort of chalky figure.
Right.
Draenor, do you remember perchance maybe looking in the water, seeing your own face?
No, I don't. And he'll start taking out the parcel he's got. He's like, do you think I should take some more?
Not right here, I wouldn't. Draenor.
What if the person came here, though? Would we may be able to find them and figure out what happened.
We should look for somebody with no foot or hand.
I don't necessarily think that was them. I think that person is no longer with us.
Okay.
That might be quite common in a mining town anyway.
Or if we can find somebody who knows what this dust is.
Yes.
Well, should we try and find a tavern first so we can gather ourselves?
And
Yeah,
be
that's fine.
vigilant of the bells.
I'll ask somebody. I'll see if we can get some more info, maybe. Val will kind of just hop off the wagon while it's slowing down and just go to someone in the general public.
Okay. As you start, you hop off and you start moving off towards one of the people. There is an elder gentleman, which is kind of cresting around the corner. He is moving after a younger woman, based upon the conversation that they're having in a dialect. It's still human, but it's not a dialect you necessarily pick up on as your focus is kind of drifting off. He is calling her back, or he's trying to speak urgently to her. And every now and again, when she starts speaking to him in a very irritated voice, she gestures up towards something in the distance and then points back to him and then points towards one of the houses. And he shakes his head and just reaches for a pickaxe that's close to the wall. And then just as he is about to move over towards him, he sees you approaching and then looks straight back to her, and then her gaze goes towards your group. And then they both stop their argument and then have a very quick whisper amongst themselves, but they don't move off.
Following her initial gaze when she looked up, where was she looking? Towards the bell tower?
Yeah.
Cool. I'll go up to them and just say, my apologies, I don't mean to interrupt. We're just passing through. Is there anywhere you know of where we might be able to stay the night? Is there a tavern or anything anywhere?
I wouldn't recommend staying here.
Why is that?
It's not safe for people to stay here. I recommend if you come in your wagon, just keep going westward, or save yourself the time and just get out back from the east. I'm sorry, I've got to go. And she starts moving back off towards the west. And just as she's going, the old man re-shoulders the pickaxe, starts moving after her, and she turns around and says, "No, Dad, home. Just go home and lock the door. I will be back. Just go home." And as he looks as though he's about to go off after her, she starts moving at a pace which he clearly can't keep. The way that he's moving, it is clear that although he's shouldering a pickaxe and he's either likely going off towards the direction of the mines, based upon the way that these paths seem to naturally be winding themselves, it's clear that he's the kind of individual, based upon the manner of movement, where working in a mine is perhaps beyond what he'd safely be able to work as a job. But as he watches her go, his expression kind of, there is a feeling, there is an expression of, actually roll insight.
Insight.
And get some more varied types of rolls rather than always just being perception.
19.
19, okay. He is terrified that she's moving off. It's clear from the way he's watching her that, and the kind of bits of conversation that you didn't necessarily hear, but from the body language, it was clear that he was trying to go ahead of her in this direction, as though he was trying to go towards the direction of the mines himself. And when he was going after her, the way he was reaching for her, it was almost as though he was trying to reverse the position of sending her home. And she's gone off ahead, leaving him behind with his pickaxe. And although he starts moving off, he kind of looks back towards your group and you, as just kind of standing there, glances up towards the bell tower, looks back towards your wagon, and then just says, "Just leave, right? Just do as she said. If you're intending on staying in." It's just, and as he is about to start gesturing, it's almost as though he anticipates a noise, because off in the distance, the bells start ringing. And the moment they start ringing, with his hand extended, he stops. and then his gaze goes straight to the bell tower, and then he turns his head just a minute fraction back towards you, and he says, "Don't move."
Oh, wasn't planning on it. If Val hears the bells as well, he's gonna stop in his tracks. Yeah, Val will also stop.
And is everyone else stopping and staying?
Oh, absolutely stopping.
Yeah, stopping.
Right, everyone roll stealth for me.
Oh fuck!
Oh, I was gonna say, how are you
Don't
gonna
forget, Philip.
manage if people just
I mean,
stop
effectively, what it
still?
is stealth.
Yeah,
That is a dirty 20 for Val.
Hang on, I need
Draynog,
roll.
you've got advantage.
Yes, he does.
Oh, yeah,
It's
this
a
was-
dexterity
yeah.
roll from your shoes, Draynog.
Rolled a 7.
Hang on, before you start telling me totals.
Okay. Cobbler's tools.
Don't forget, Philip was not a part of this conversation, and he has disadvantage on stealth.
He does.
Well, we would have told him about the
And-
whole freezing thing.
And
And
intelligence.
he's
is
under a cloak still. I put on a bit ages ago.
He's a spooky
That was
ghost.
a while back. I'm assuming he would have taken that off by now.
I don't know.
I imagine it's
Mid
like
eye
a
hold.
birdcage. Like you put it over and the world just ceases to exist for Philip.
Hmm.
Give me 1 second. I just got to make a note of something.
I missed
Philip
that.
doesn't just have object permanence, he has world permanence.
I would 100% buy that with Philip.
Yeah,
Also, what did Bonnie think this was all about? Bonnie's going
zombies.
zombies.
Yeah, the chat's been a
zombies.
little active, yeah, with some different ideas.
Okay.
Interesting.
Val, can I get your
Yes.
stealth roll, please?
Dirty 20.
Nice.
30, so 20 total, yeah?
20 total.
Same here.
Gwen?
14.
14. Draynog, did you say 20 for you?
Yeah, 17 plus 3, dirty 20.
Okay. Cassian?
20 plus 8. 28. Natural.
28.
Yeah, natural 20. Yeah.
Cassian disappears.
Cassian becomes 2D.
Okay.
Degala.
Digala?
Oh,
Very
9.
oh. I
9.
can tell by the silence.
Mm-hmm.
Rest in
Right.
peace.
Okay.
Josh, why has the world around you disappeared?
Yeah, you've just your room is so dark now.
I think it's just it's understood what's about to happen.
Oh, you're going to die, right? Yeah.
Okay.
Reminds me of that meme where the guy just like, and just disappears.
Yeah.
It's up to Cassian whether or not he wants to act in this capacity with your natural 20, because these are individual checks and not a group check.
Hmm.
Do you want to intercede on Philip's behalf to negate his disadvantage?
Oh.
Yes, because I feel like anyone near me drawing attention to me is an issue.
Okay.
In a selfish way, yes.
Okay. Normally, I would get Ryan to roll for this rather than me rolling for him, but obviously, in his absence, I do still need a roll. So, James, since you're negating his disadvantage, do you want to do a straight roll for me?
All right.
Nice.
That's an 11.
Oh, that's probably better than he would have got before.
He's probably got a
Mine.
minus though.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah,
I'm
Degala,
aware,
you do have
Bonnie.
inspiration.
I I'm aware I've got inspiration. I'm saving it.
I also have one left, I think.
Yeah, same. I thought 14 would be fine.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll find out.
I may be wrong.
Not only has this older gentleman frozen, after a few ringings of the bells and the pervasive, echoing, beautiful, eerie din that it causes over the town, when those bells stop moving, there is no sound around you. It's almost as though the bustle of the streets and the people that are moving both within buildings and outside of it stop. And as you're kind of glancing just before you yourself stop, or those that are rather angled at different directions than yourself would notice, people that are moving up and down pathways, moving with pickaxes or moving using kind of barrows in order to kind of haul things back and forth, they stop. Whatever position they're in, when those bells go, they stop still. And there is a strong, pregnant atmosphere of dread. And for a moment, that silence is overwhelming. as you're almost anticipating. It's almost as though part of you kind of feels as though this is just some weird superstition or some sort of prank. But there's no way this town would have lasted this long, especially with people clearly not sleeping. Functionally, it would not work. But that kind of almost half thought leaves you quite promptly when you don't so much hear as you feel a rising on the back of your neck as the hair starts standing on end. And then you don't initially see, but you can't see where this noise originates from, but someone does a sharp whimper and intake of breath in your periphery. And then before long, you see them drifting between the buildings. Their feet don't touch the ground, but so much as hover above it.
Oh, these are the wispy children again.
No.
Oh.
White, pale-skinned, long-limbed figures glide. Their heads, insofar as these can be called heads, list from one side to the other, almost as though they are kind of the victim of gravity, being pulled whichever way they're going. But their head angles whichever way they start to drift. And they start to float with an eerie, low, gargling rasp between the frozen people. And every now and again, they linger close to one. And then they drift off to the next. And off in the distance, you hear, briefly, a scream that is almost instantly cut short. And then, as you are fighting to stay still with the noises going on around you, or the lack of noises in some cases, it's Val that would notice them first, being so far away from the wagon. Not because it drifts into your periphery, but because you feel someone standing behind you. And then as it turns and angles close to your face, its neck, easily 2 foot long, pushes past where your face is, and its head twists and looks at you. And the eyes that should be there are instead empty sockets. And where there should be lips, there's just an open hole. And this crude imitation of a human face, which looks more almost like a horrific representation of a mask of someone's horrified expression created by someone that had never seen a human before, just stares at you, almost as though it's waiting. And it waits and stares.
God.
And then you hear a flicker of or rather a small groan of movement, and its head suddenly recedes and whips around, coming from the position to your rear where the old man was stood. Where, Gwyn, are you sat on the front of the wagon, Gwyn?
Yeah.
Gwyn can see on his periphery, and anybody else that sat on the front of the wagon can see. This figure moves and shifts, again, gliding, head listing towards where it's going, almost though being led by the nose, almost shark-like, before this old figure, this old man, whose knees have started to go. And as he tries to steady himself, he doesn't look up, as the figure just looms over him. And what he can't see, because his focus is so heavily on the ground, but what you all can watch, is that the mouth of this creature starts to open and open and open and open and open, and then slowly begins to descend over him like an open tunnel. And the moment he sees it, there is a moment where his breathing starts to pick up and he fights to remain still. But the panic that's setting on him, even though he can't seem to summon the strength to call out, cements this fate as that mouth begins to descend over him.
Before it does, Val's going to move.
What are you doing?
I think Grim's
Yep.
going to do the same.
Right.
I'm gonna snap my fingers to draw attention back to me.
What are you doing?
Okay.
Saving an old man.
I just leave the creepy cannibal giraffe to do its thing.
Me as Callum would very much like to, but I'm playing as Val. He's not just gonna watch this happen.
As you do this, the figure almost, well, actually, that's the point. This was happening at your back. Are you working off of the assumption that you can hear this?
I thought he was in front of me because I was.
No, he was off to behind you because when you would. Oh no, that's the point. Actually, you were angry towards.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
you
was-
would be able to see
yeah.
this. Ignore me. I'm. This is where battle map. Yeah, so you're angled, so you would see this. Where this figure is kind of blocking this man as you make the noise, it suddenly ripples, almost like a droplet in the water, as its body shivers, almost again like if somebody has dropped a cold bit of water down your back and your body gives that involuntary shudder. And although it doesn't stop and turn towards you, you hear off towards your back, past the fountain, almost as though everything is drawn by the sudden sound that you made, subtle though it was of you just snapping your fingers. Like blood in water, you've drawn sharks.
Yay.
We're going to pause there.
Hey, that's
One,
fine, I
because
can
we're
feel
going to
it.
run out of time, and two, because I don't have a battle map, and I
Yeah.
feel like we're going to need one.
Oh, fucking hell.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
I'm
my
sorry.
life.
Val could not just stand by and watch.
To be
an
honest,
old man get
I
eaten.
keep in mind that I do keep an eye on people's alignments and stuff. And you don't have to act in accordance to them, but if you consistently don't, eventually there will be an alignment shift.
Yeah.
It doesn't really impact a lot, but there are some rules which are kind of influenced by alignments, so I do kind of need to keep on top of them.
Don't worry, Callum. Gwen was also going to make a move.
Yeah, and to be honest, if you are good aligned, just watching an old man get eaten by a creature is,
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of you can kind of justify it, but
Yeah.
Oh,
you'll be able to get it.
My plan
Anyway,
now is
so-
to Misty step the fuck back to the cart, and then we're out of it.
we're out
Oh,
of
yes.
that. It's,
Oh,
Great,
jeez.
drag them to us.
Yeah.
if these things are like ghosts, then it's probably going to be magical damage that hurts them. Who has magical damage here?
Me.
One.
I
Two.
got psychic.
You got psychic. Okay. Gwyn? Neither. Gwyn
Gwen
and
can
Tagala
punch
are
them so
running.
hard that it hurts them.
Yeah, so we will pick up here from next time. We managed to get into Baledran. Obviously, you've come in at a time where things are going on. Some of the previous rolls that you made were towards certain events which were going on in some of the neighbouring towns. So this is obviously, as you can tell from the expression of some of these people's faces, is going on for a bit of a time. But we'll dive into more of that depending on what goes on next time. We'll pick up from there. So apologies to everyone for some of the technical issues again today. Again, that is due to my end of things. We will try and get that sorted, especially since we're going to need a battle map next week. So I'm going to have to sort that. But hopefully from next week we won't have any further issues. So we'll be starting at the normal time from 12. He says, touch on wood, and we'll pick up straight from here and see what goes on. With the
I think Callum and I may need to start rolling some characters and getting some backstory straight.
I mean,
come on, optimism.
if Draenor sees this, I'm pretty sure I'm going to try and wild shape and try and outrun ghosts.
Yeah.
Fly.
Because One thing
I can't
Val's
fly
good at-
yet.
Oh no.
You guys have got a ridiculously fast moving elf. Just sick him on him and make him run.
Yeah, that's the idea. That's what
That's
I'm
very good idea.
Yeah.
This is actually a good point. Yeah. We could do
Val's
that.
also just very good at escaping, so
Yeah.
should be all right.
So, yeah. So thank you very much, everybody that's managed to watch, and everyone that will watch. As usual, the VODs will be going out on Wednesday.
Yep.
I believe at 5
Yes.
GMT.
5 GMT.
Lore video from the awesome Leo should be going out on Friday as per normal. Despite all the some of the issues in the office space and everything going on, if you have stuck with us and you do watch our stuff, thank you very much. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. It does help us, especially in these early stages, especially with our teething issues. We're aiming to get better. We're aiming to improve, and that kind of support is can't be and just overstated. I can't remember which one's which in this particular moment, but the good one.
We
It
massively appreciate it.
Yes, it would be massively appreciated with these going on. So, any parting words, folks?
Thank you very much. And although it was slightly unorthodox today, I enjoyed it, and we hope you did too.
Yeah.
Yes. So we did have a bit of a chat and a thing. And feel free to join us on Discord and have a chat there. Again, with regards to the inspiration types of things, I do want to try and implement that in a chat format. But feedback from people that watch us live or intend on watching us live is kind of paramount to that, because I don't want to roll out a system where it's not going to work because people don't know what's going on and they don't know how to interact with it. So how that'll work will depend on some of the discourse and the back and forth that we get from people. So if you do have ideas for that, or you do have a preference, let us know on Discord.
Tell your friends and mothers.
Yes, friends and mothers. So
No
that link
fathers,
one
though.
more
We
time,
don't want any dads.
please, Dean, for the Discord.
Yep, so if you go on to perils.uk, that'll redirect you straight to our Discord page. And we are quite active on there, and there are lots of different like art projects that people put on there. But we also just kind of have a bit of banter and put pictures of pets and stuff as well. But yeah, it'll give you a heads up as well if there are issues have biting ankles. If there is, sorry, I just looked at the chat.
Yeah, I just did as well. Thank you, buddy.
Yeah, thank you very much, guys. And we will see you next week. Hopefully, the full entirety of the 4 hours, and we'll pick up from there. Thank you.
Yeah.
Take care.
Bye.
Take it easy.
Bye.
Bye.